Everybody, welcome back to our latest live stream here on the Max Velocity YouTube channel. Hope everybody's doing well today. If you are, make sure to hit the like button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. I would appreciate it. We're going to be going over the severe weather that we got ongoing in the Ohio Valley as well as in the southern plains. We actually have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings currently in North Texas. I'll get to those as well in here in a moment. But the most notable severe weather event tonight will be across the Ohio Valley. This will eventually go into areas like Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and as well as Kentucky throughout the evening hours. So we're going to have to watch a lot of severe weather tonight, and that includes what we got going as of right now. And we're gonna get right to it. So as of right now, this is our one storm just to the north of Cleveland. There is currently a severe thunderstorm warning ongoing here. This storm is currently moving off to the east. It is going to be going towards areas like East Lake, Mentor, as well as Gates Mills, Cleveland Heights potentially as well. This storm has had some very broad rotation. It has had a pretty strong inflow, but overall the rotations remain fairly minimal so far with this cell. It is discrete, so if this is able to start rotating, we definitely could see something out of this later on. But as of right now, again, low tornado threat tonight. I do not expect much in terms of any tornado activity. There might be a couple of tornadoes at the most, but overall the main threat will be damaging winds and maybe some large hail. But this is our ongoing storm as of right now. It does expire at 7 o'clock Central Time. I did forget to put this on Eastern Time, but I'll do that in here in a second. But that's what we got going as of right now. Again, this storm is currently moving off to the east. Cleveland also potentially in the track of that. We also got another cell back down here to the southwest. This has had rotation. I was actually watching a storm chaser, and there was clearly a wall cloud with this. Not too long ago, only about 15 minutes ago or so, there was at least a wall cloud with this storm. As of right now, I don't see a whole lot that would indicate that we're going to get a tornado warning in the foreseeable future. And actually, in fact, I believe the tornado possible label got removed from this cell. Let me take a look at that, and it looks like it did. So actually, there's no longer at least a tornado possible label on this cell. But I definitely can't rule out maybe later on that we start to see some velocity start to spur up a little bit again. The area of rotation was actually located right about here, just to the southwest now of Greenwich. But overall, I do expect the main threat, again, with most storms tonight to be damaging winds. But it's definitely going to be a cell to watch. This whole entire area, we'll start to see some storms forming down here to the south and west. Again, there are severe thunderstorm watches ongoing, clearly across a large portion of Ohio and as well as into northwestern Pennsylvania. Back down here to the south, we also have another severe thunderstorm warning that was ongoing. It is now a weakening cell, looks like just south of Cincinnati. We have more storms now developing back out here to the southwest. These will eventually probably become severe at some point, not all of them, but maybe a couple of them, and they might produce, again, all modes of severe weather, primarily going to be damaging winds. We also have a couple of warnings ongoing back down here in Texas, and these are both currently producing some potential for a little bit of large hail as well as damaging winds around 60. Currently near Runaway Bay, this is an ongoing storm producing 60-mile-per-hour winds and nickel-sized hail. This is all associated, by the way, with about 4 or 5 different outflow boundaries. It's pretty impressive. We got one right here, got another one that just formed right here, we got another one shooting out back this direction. There's so many outflow boundaries over here in North Texas right now. It's pretty incredible what we got over here right now. But overall, the main threats with these storms for the rest of this evening will be damaging winds up to 65 miles per hour, maybe a possibility for some quarter to $half sized hail, and overall no tornado threats expected tonight. There's also another warning back up here near Gainesville and Whitesboro producing damaging winds around 60 and as well as some penny-sized hail. And there's also a report at 525 over in Munster, this over in western Cook County. This produced or at least produced some damage in terms of large limbs and a few trees down just north of Munster. So there was actually a few damage reports up that direction, and we obviously have this storm ongoing, producing a pretty good impactful punch in terms of at least maybe some quarter-sized hail as well. It is warned for nickel, but I definitely can't rule out it's a little bit larger. All right, let me real quick change my time zone because I'm not in the right time zone. This will take a second to do, but if you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the chat. I'm going to have to do this real quick. We'll have to change it over to... All right, let's do this real quick. You're going to see a yellow screen here for a second. I do have to do this, though, real quick so I can make sure we're on the right time zone. I don't know why I forgot to do this. And it looks like it should be good now. All right, let's go back over here. And we are not in the right time zone. All right, we got to do this again. I apologize. This is going on the blooper reel for sure because I completely forgot to do this. By the way, I do hope everybody's having a fantastic night so far. I know a lot of you guys are in the zone for severe weather today. It's actually including a pretty decent amount of locations for today. And, okay, I got my time fixed now. All right, there we go. Now we're working. Sorry about that. All right, there we go. So we got EDT time zone on. All right, we're all good to go now. We're primarily going to be focusing again on the northeast tonight, anywhere in the Ohio Valley, for example. But obviously, if there's any other severe weather, we'll hop over to it. We're just going to be on the EST time zone. So just keep that in mind. All right, so let me get some questions. I missed a lot of questions beforehand from before the stream even started, but I'll try to get to the ones that we got going as of right now. By the way, there's a special marine warning for those right along the coastline here for some 40-knot winds if you're anywhere boating around here. But overall, that threat should remain fairly low, I'd expect, out of that. But again, we'll have more increasing activity over the next couple of hours. So this is not obviously all of what we'll see more severe weather most likely ramping up over the next 2 to 3 hours. There also might be a severe thunderstorm watch getting issued here pretty soon. Let me hop over to that real quick. I think I can put on mesoscale discussion zone here. So this is a look. I don't know if they'll pop up. Yeah, okay, so there is. So this is an area that I'll have to watch as well tonight for maybe a severe thunderstorm watch. There's a 40% chance of that being issued. It's going to depend on the developments over the next couple of hours. Here's a look at the current radar. We got some cells right now developing back down in southern Indiana and as well as through portions of Illinois. But overall, activities remain fairly minimal so far. However, this will ramp up, as I mentioned before, over the next couple of hours. This is not all that we're going to see. We actually have some other storms up in Canada, by the way. I will not really be covering these, but these are some storms that we have up here in portions of Ontario. But overall, those storms should be primarily just a little bit of isolated damaging winds and maybe an isolated tornado. I know the tornado threat was really, I feel like it was really exaggerated today. I don't know why they really said like there was gonna be a bunch of strong tornadoes or something like that, but the setup really was not ripe for that many tornadoes. They might have been at 1 or 2, but overall the tornado threat was supposed to remain pretty low up that direction anyways. All right, hey Jackson, or Jacob, excuse me, how you doing? As well, Storm Chaser, how you doing today? Welcome. Dustman from Discord, how you doing, Midnight? Hope you're doing well. Are you talking about Canton, Texas, Sergeant? Hey, James, how you doing? Happy severe weather in North Texas. I know it, man. It's been a while, and really, we had very isolated severe weather throughout this month. We had a couple of days, but they were like one warning, and that was it. London, Connecticut, you're not seeing anything tonight. Tomorrow, there'll be a very low-end chance for severe weather down in Connecticut. Again, more details on that in our last forecast. Make sure to go check that out. That has the full details for you. Here on our YouTube channel. Let me go back over here real quick. Make sure I got my audio working. All right. Hey, Debbie, how you doing? Welcome. And Sniper, welcome back. Hope you're doing well as well. You look at Statesboro, Georgia. Yeah, maybe in a little bit. I think overall, though, it's just gonna be strong storms down that direction today. Warning count is 4. Yes, you are correct. I think it is 4. Let me take a look real quick. We're actually at 6 warnings. I think they're in different spots. I'm only really covering Texas and as well as up here in the Ohio Valley. There's a shelf cloud in DFW. That would be definitely, yeah, we're definitely seeing a shelf cloud up that direction. Hey, Florida Skyview, how you doing? Welcome. Thank you, JOQ, by the way, for the $1 super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Top on most of the questions here. Do you think storms will be aggressive more later this afternoon? Well, we're technically in the evening now, but storms will be progressively getting a little bit more severe as we could go throughout the evening. We're going to see more storm development overall. Again, the main threat's going to be the potential for damaging winds up to 75 miles per hour. However, I cannot rule out the potential for maybe an isolated tornado or even maybe some isolated large hail. Overall, though, I think the damaging winds is going to be the main threat tonight. Definitely can't rule out the other 2 threats as well. J-Dog, not really. The low pressure system is actually, it's pretty neutral right now. It's positively tilted. It's more neutral now. But overall, the tornado threat, again, it's not going to be that high. We have a very high K-index today, which for those that don't know what a K-index is, which I almost guarantee most of you guys don't know what that is. It's basically just some sort of way that we can measure, you know, the percent chance of rain in a specific location from soundings and stuff like that. So overall, the K-index was forecast to be high today. Usually it's, you know, when you shoot up a weather balloon, you can kind of figure out that information. It takes a calculation, by the way. You have to do some math for it. But overall, the storm coverage was expected to be, in terms of, you know, what we're expecting today, to be pretty high, which results in usually a lower overall tornado threat in most instances, not all of them, but most. And we had a pretty moderate low-level jet. We had a pretty decent wind shear today as well. We still have very decent wind shear. But overall, again, the tornado threat's going to probably remain low just due to the fact, again, the overall storm coverage is going to remain so high in most areas. And we obviously saw some rotation on this cell. By the way, we did see a wall cloud with this area not too long ago, about maybe 25 minutes ago. I think Brandon Kopik, if I'm saying the name right, he was actually live streaming at the time, and he's still live streaming, but he was live streaming that, and I was watching it, and there was definitely a wall cloud there. But overall, the tornado threat should remain low unless any storms become discrete, which the only discrete cell over here in the Ohio Valley that I have right now is coming off the Great Lakes. This one, again, is going closer to Euclid, if I'm saying the name right, near East Lake as well. There has been a little bit of very, very broad rotation. There's inflow into the storm. It is discrete, but overall, again, not a whole lot in terms of rotation. It's pretty much just winds right now. But again, that could be something that we have to watch as well. The overall tornado threat should be primarily in northern or northeastern Ohio tonight. So just reference. All right. What am I thinking for DFW? Overall, the storm activity will probably remain about a 35% coverage tonight, and that includes basically all of tonight. I will be keeping a close eye on DFW as well. So severe weather and whatnot, we'll be keeping a close eye on as well down that direction. But overall, the threat for severe weather should remain pretty low. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. Hey, Runway, how you doing? Welcome. All right, let me go back over to this storm. This is a new warning, by the way. I just forgot to mention this. This is for 60-mile-per-hour winds. That includes Mansfield, Worcester, as well as Ashland and Ontario, Crestline, Lodi, New London, West Salem, Hayesville, Savannah, Polk, Sullivan, Westfield, Center, Lucas, Dromesville, Bailey's Lake, Burbank, Congress, and Mifflin. So those areas are all included. And by the way, there is a severe thunderstorm watch going until 8 o'clock Eastern time back out to the west. That does include basically northwestern Ohio. That's pretty much for any storm development over the next maybe 30 minutes that develops back down this direction. We also have a new severe thunderstorm watch that goes until 11 o'clock tonight. And we may get another one depending if there's any storm development down here in southern Ohio. But we do have a potential that we get a new watch down here, or actually really not really a new watch, but at least some sort of watch down this direction depending on the storm development, which we do have some pretty decent cells forming here right now down near Linville. Again, all these are discrete right now. We're definitely gonna have some inflow early on with these cells. Let me head over to this and let me put this on. Let's go back to the velocities. And as of right now, pretty broad rotation. This one has a little bit of rotation, nothing too crazy, but overall it's primarily going to be most likely damaging winds, but we might get a severe thunderstorm watch down this direction, so we'll be watching that pretty closely throughout the evening hours as well. Again, we got 2 warnings ongoing over in North Texas. Both of them are for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and again, we'll keep you updated with those as well. But storms down there over in basically western Kentucky are definitely looking impressive. South of in southern Indiana, those are definitely improving in terms of what they're looking like right now. No problem, J-Dog. I'm doing good, Runaway. Thanks for asking. Pretty good. Euclid? Euclid. Okay, thank you. So yeah, it's going right now into Euclid right now. Velocities as of right now looking just to be winds at this point, but we'll have to watch this one still pretty closely. It looks like the cell is not very organized. It was actually pretty organized a few scans ago. Let me go back a little bit here. This is what the cell looked like before it came inland, so you can kind of see it. It looked pretty impressive before it came inland. You can kind of see it almost looked like it has like this big notch here. That's actually more of a false sort of hook, but it was a pretty impressive storm, at least the shape of it. Storm seems to overall be weakening out. A little cell behind it that's trying to develop. We also got a storm back over here just to the southwest of Rocky River. That's also trying to develop. So I'll have to watch that pretty closely as well. Let me go back over to the live radar here. And do that. There we go. All right, this will go back to the live radar. I think there's more than, I think there's like 6 warnings right now. Let me go back and double check. We have 7 warnings ongoing. I think I don't think there's any other ones that I'm only covering primarily North Texas and as well as down. We actually got 5 warnings right now. Okay. So the area that I'm covering, there's 5 warnings. There's 2 other ones though, outside of that. Hey, Jacob. Yes, I did see that damage report. There was actually some tree limbs and a few trees down over in Munster, Texas. So there was actually a confirmation of that damage already. And we're obviously going to probably see a little bit more damage from where that came from as well. It's definitely not going to be it for tonight. Especially up here in the Ohio Valley. I mean, the storms are definitely going to be a bit worse down over here in these up here in these regions. Kansas not going to see anything tonight. At least in terms of severe weather, I wouldn't expect anything. And the overall threat for severe weather is going to stay in the southern plains, far southern plains, basically into Texas and southeastern Oklahoma. Also includes areas into the Ohio Valley. Let me go and put it up here. I can kind of show you what we're looking at today. And again, slight risk of severe weather goes into Kentucky. And we might get a watch. Again, the severe thunderstorm watch may get issued down here pretty soon. We have some storms developing down that direction. They look pretty decent so far in terms of their shape. We also got a marginal threat. It extends all the way down, actually down in closer to South Carolina, to Columbia. So definitely a large risk there. It goes all the way back out to the west, by the way, into Wichita Falls. So it's a pretty large risk for today. Tomorrow is a different story, though. And I may go live for this, depending on the timing of it. But we have a slight risk up in New England and marginal threat along the coastlines. And then another slight risk back down into the southern and southeastern portions of the United States. That would include Mississippi, Alabama, as well as portions of the Carolinas and Georgia. So that's what we're looking at in terms of tomorrow as well. And we'll get our next Storm Prediction Center update in about an hour and a half on tonight's severe weather as well. But obviously, there's a lot that will happen between now and then for that. Okay, sorry about that. Zanesville, Ohio. I am not sure where that is. We'll have to figure that out. Let me look it up. You might hear a dog barking. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but just fantastic, isn't it? All right, let me go back over to the Zanesville area. That's east of Columbus. Yeah, there's a possibility there. It would probably be between 9 to 10 o'clock if you see anything, but it's gonna, there's definitely a possibility down that direction. So definitely not out of the question that we might see a little bit of severe weather down that way. By the way, I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the stream, but we actually have new radar sites. They're not really new, but they are now new to what I use in terms of this program. So we do have new little radar sites. You can see this one right here. This is not a normal one. It's a very small radar site. It's more for close-up storms and whatnot, but it does give you a little bit of an assistance if there's any storms near a radar site like this one. There is a possibility, like let's just say if there was a severe storm, let's just say right here, they would be perfect for this radar site since it's just a close by one. It's a very small distance radar site. Like in comparison to this one goes out, you know, a few hundred miles. This one only goes out maybe 50 miles at the most. So there actually are some new little radar sites on this little software that I use. So that's going to be beneficial for severe weather later on as well. If we ever have any storms near those radar sites, which they're pretty, you know, they're not frequent, but there are a few out there. There's 2 in DFW, so. Canton, Ohio. Oh, okay. I thought you were meant Canton, Texas. Let me take a look where Canton is as well. Let's take a look. If you're just tuning in, make sure to hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Canton, Ohio is south of Cleveland. You will probably see storms tonight. I'm giving you like a 70-80% chance, depending. It might be just be rain, but I would give you a pretty good chance of seeing some rain tonight. It'll probably be at least a couple of hours, maybe 3 hours or so, until you see anything. No problem, sniper. All right, so let me go back over. All right, there we go. And as of right now, let me go back over to the Storm Prediction Center website. Let's take a look if there's any new mesoscale discussion. So we still got one mesoscale discussion ongoing. I don't know why it wasn't shown before, but we still have a possibility that we get a severe thunderstorm watch down this direction. Here's a look at the live radar as of right now. And you can kind of see these storms are looking pretty impressive so far. Obviously, these are going to be quick pop-up storms. They'll probably collide here pretty soon. It'll become a bit more numerous in terms of storm activity over the next couple of hours. So the overall tornado threat should remain pretty low at these, if not pretty close to zero. But we're definitely going to be looking at a pretty decent hail threat, as well as maybe some damaging wind gusts around 60 to 70 miles per hour. And we also got some storms now developing extreme southwestern portions of Illinois. So these will be storms to watch as well. And we also actually got an outflow boundary right here, kind of moving off to the north. That shouldn't do too much, but we obviously have some storms developing here, so we may get a severe thunderstorm watch here pretty soon. There's a 40% chance of one getting issued. It's really going to depend on the developments over the next hour, but I would expect one. We do have a tornado warning that just got issued. Let's go over to that. This is a new tornado warning. This does include areas near Mansfield. So we now have our first tornado warning of the day in the United States, and we might have a couple more, but this is a new tornado warning. It does include areas near Crestline, Mansfield, North Robinson, Galleon, as well as Mifflin, and Ashfield, and Shelby, and Lucas. Those areas all included with this tornado warning. The rotation is currently near 598. So this is, again, a tornado warning that was just issued in these locations. Again, this is in Ohio. For the latest, again, this is near Crestline, moving off to the east. Again, Crestline's gonna be in the track within the next minute. It's probably already there now. Mansfield probably in about 5 minutes. I know Mansfield's a bit more populated area. So again, tornado warning ongoing near for anywhere in Crestline off to Mansfield, as well as Mifflin. So again, make sure you're seeking shelter immediately away from windows, lowest floor possible. Again, the ongoing area of rotation is currently over here near Crestline. And again, it's drifting off to the east right now. North of Ashland. Is Ashland a little bit? I think it's a bit further north of here. I will be watching, and just in case if they're anywhere near this storm, I know I'll be at least watching Brandon. I'm not sure about Vince. But he's driving through a lot of rain right now. This is, again, near Crestline. And the area of rotation, let's go back over to the velocities here. Let's look at the velocity. So there's a little bit of rotation. The rotation's not strong at this given time. It could very well, it's going to update here in a second. We'll get a little bit of radar information on that. But rotation is definitely there. We're starting to see it develop. Obviously, this is a newly developing storm in terms of the velocity. So we might see this strengthen in the next scan. So we're going to keep you updated with the latest. Again, this storm's currently tracking off to the east. Again, make sure you're seeking shelter away from windows immediately, lowest floor possible. An ongoing tornado warning moving off to the east. Christian, there might be some rain in North Texas tomorrow. Yeah, more on that. Make sure to check out the Facebook page. Link in the description. Yeah, the storm's moving east. I believe it said 25 miles per hour. It says about 30, so it's about 25, 30 miles per hour off to the east. So it will probably hit Mansfield within the next 5 to 10 minutes, I would say. So, again, if you're in Mansfield, make sure you're seeking shelter immediately. Velocity should be coming in here at any moment. I'm waiting for them to update on here. Should be able to update here in a second. the latest on this. Again, this is near crest line for reference, so that's where our rotation is. Here's the latest update. We're seeing some strong winds right now. That is currently going towards the radar site, and here's the way from the radar site. So we're definitely looking at a counterclockwise rotation, excuse me. But overall, the rotation is still broad. It's not strong, but we definitely, again, could see this develop over the next several minutes. Again, this is a newly developing storm, so we definitely could see this start to rotate even more as this moves off to the east. So again, make sure you get to your safe place immediately, again, away from windows. This is going toward Ontario, basically right along possibly Highway 30, and as well as near 30 and 19, that area. That kind of area is really where it's kind of directing itself toward. It might go towards Mansfield. It's kind of moving off to the east as of right now. Again, 314 can be in the track of this within the next couple of minutes. Eventually toward 39, 13, 545 as well. All going to be in the track of this over the next several minutes. Again, this is an ongoing tornado warning in central northern portions of Ohio, moving off to the east. Thank you, Hammernado, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, 1920s, how you doing? Welcome back. Both on the same road? Yeah, so again, this is an ongoing area rotation. As of right now, I'm not seeing... Yeah. Let me go back over to Twitter. Let's see if we have anything. I might try to get some live cams as well here. See if we have anything in Ohio. Again, the cell's right now moving off to the east. It's going towards Mansfield and Ontario. Let me put a track on this cell as well. Let's get timing on this in terms of who might be out in front of this here over the next several minutes. Here's a look at the track. Move this over here. So let's go and track the ongoing area of rotation out for a little bit. Here's a look at the ongoing rotation. So kind of give yourself enough time, space it out, but Ontario is projected at 744, Mansfield 751, Lucas 805, Ashland 811, Dromesville 825, Shreve 849, Worcester right around 854, Smithville 903, Fredericksburg 905, Apple Creek right around 907, Orville 914, and Dalton at 921. That's again your timing on this cell. It is going to be moving through areas like Mansfield and as well as Ontario over the next 10 to 15 minutes. So again, make sure you're getting away from windows, lowest floor possible immediately. Again, this is a developing cell. This is again starting to rotate right now near crest line. Definitely a dangerous cell right now, heading right along 309 as well as Highway 30. So that's where we got it as of right now. I'll try to get you the latest on some views on the storm as well as it moves off to the east. This is a rotate. This is radar indicated, so it's not a confirmed tornado as of right now. That's for reference. This is not a confirmed tornado, but again, one could drop at any time. So we're going to be watching that very closely as well. Sounds good, Storm Chaser. See you again soon. Appreciate you tuning in. Let me see if we got anything over here near Mansfield. Got some cams in Mansfield itself. But it looks like there's a lot of trees in this area. That might make it kind of hard to see anything. What we can do here, though. I haven't had the best of luck with live cams recently, just due to the fact of where they're placed. And we'll keep you updated and see if we get any sort of views on this. Yeah, if you have any photos, videos, anything like that, feel free to tweet me on Twitter. Twitter is linked in the description below. Again, this is an ongoing tornado warning. Timestamps again for your locations on the left side of your screen. That's the ongoing timing. Yeah, as of right now, nothing in this area in terms of camera views in Mansfield at least. Obviously, we have storm chasers on the drive right now toward that location. I'm watching those pretty closely as well, see if we get any sort of confirmation on the cell. But again, nothing confirmed as of right now, but we definitely could see one at any time. Again, it's going towards Mansfield right now and Ontario. Here's your look at your rotation. Again, I'm not seeing anything that's strong now to identify any sort of, at least having a tornado on the ground right now, but there is definitely some rotation here near Crestline. Again, it might drop a brief or weak tornado, it might drop even a tornado that lasts a few minutes. Again, this is a setup where if any cells are discrete, we definitely could see maybe a tornado that lasts a few minutes, especially if, again, they're discrete. And then we definitely could see a tornado, again, if they're discrete like this, which, again, we have one right now here. Anything back up here to the north, anything that's more kind of covered up with more storms, it's gonna be hard for it to become, any sort of tornadic situation. This cell specifically, though, it's kind of at the southern end of that cluster of storms, so we might have, again, we have a little bit of inflow going into the storm here. Again, possibility for a tornado would exist right about there near Crestline. Again, that's gonna be tracking towards maybe Ontario as well as Mansfield over the next several minutes. Again, make sure you're seeking shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. Dangerous cell right now heading off to the east. And regardless of it producing a tornado, it is definitely producing some damaging wind gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour. So it is a cell to watch very closely. Yeah, Brandon is right now live chasing it, so I am keeping updated with him as well. I'm not going to obviously show it on stream or anything like that, but I'm definitely going to keep you updated with that as well. All right, we have no other warnings in terms of tornado warnings right now. Again, we have a potential that we have more sort of cells that develop a little bit later down into portions of western Kentucky and southern Illinois. Those are ongoing. Might get a severe thunderstorm watch here pretty soon. Waiting details on that. We might get one in terms of what we can expect over the next couple of hours. It's really going to depend on if any storms do become severe down that direction. We don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings down in Kentucky yet. There is definitely a possibility, though, that we might get a few. So we'll have to be watching that pretty closely. All right, let me get back over to the velocities here. I'm actually going to look at the correlation coefficient as well. Obviously, the correlation coefficient is not going to show anything, I would assume. That's your area of rotation. And correlation coefficient not showing anything as of right now, which is, again, very good news. We have a little bit of hail in here as well. There might be a little bit of small hail falling, if not maybe just some heavy rain, possibly a little bit of these reds and smidge of pink there. Might be a little bit of pea-sized hail possibly falling with this cell. But overall, the main threat, again, is being this tornado threat. And here's a look at the hail radar real quick, and then we'll go back over to the velocities. Velocities update will be coming in here in a moment. And here's a look at the hail. So there might be a little bit of possibly some half-inch sized hail at the most with the cell. Again, this is currently tracking off to the east, going again towards Mansfield, which is, again, a bit more of a populated region here. And that's what we're looking at right now. Let me get back over to the live radar. All right, next radar update's coming in right now. So we're going to get the latest on that here in a second. This storm is currently in Ohio. Currently in Ohio right now. Tornado warning in London, Ontario as well. Yep, there's going to be a possibility for a couple of tornadoes up that direction too. Hey, John, how you doing? Welcome back. Now, this is not a debris ball. This is not an ongoing. This is, again, for as of what we know at this given moment in terms of the radar, it is not on the ground. But we may see something in the next several minutes. But we'll have to watch it closely. Any rotation? Yes, there is rotation. Let me go back over to the, again, we're going to get our next radar update probably right now, looks like. And yeah, we're getting our next radar update right now. So give you the latest, at least on the live radar here in a second. Then velocities update usually a smidge after that. So I'll give you the latest details on that here in a moment. Tornado sirens are going off. Thank you for the report. Again, if you have any photos or videos that you can take safely, feel free to post those to our Twitter or anything like that as well. The latest tornado warning, by the way, it's still ongoing. Same tornado warning got condensed. It no longer includes Crestline. It does include Ontario Mansfield. The ongoing rotation is right now near 314, 30, and as well as, I believe, 316 or 430, excuse me. So those are the areas right now where the roads are, at least in terms of where this ongoing rotation is. Again, rotation is currently centered right about here near 314, near Ontario, and as well as Mansfield. Here's a look at the velocities as of right now, and it looks like overall might have a little bit more rotation, actually a little bit further to the south here. Let's go back over to the live radar. Doesn't really match up a lot. I would assume the rotation's a bit more up to the north here, so I'm assuming that we're looking at possibly some rotation here. Again, that's near Highway 30. Moving off to the east, here's a look again at the velocities. Not a whole lot matching up here. Here's a look at the correlation coefficient. A lot of red, so we're not seeing, it looks like, as of this given moment when the radar updated, that there's a tornado on the ground. But we definitely could see this develop at any time. We're still watching this very closely. Again, Mansfield's going to be in the track of this within the next 5 minutes. Let me put a track on this again if you're just tuning in. Give you an idea of where this is tracking over the next several minutes. And this is for the rotation. This is not for the rest of the storm. This is just for the rotation. Ontario is going to be within the next minute, as well as Mansfield. No, it says 7:50. I would assume it's going to be there within the next 5 to 6 minutes. So get in shelter immediately if you're in Mansfield. Again, you should get in shelter well before these times even hit if you're in a tornado warning. Lucas 804, Ashland 810, Hayesville 819, Jeromesville 824, Worcester right around 853, Smithville 902, Apple Creek 906, Orville 913. As well as Dalton 921 and Brewster right around 934. That's your timing again on this cell. That is where the rotation is. It does not include the rest of the storm that might have a little bit of small hail or gusty winds. So just keep that in mind. And that's what we got going as of right now. It's currently tracking off to the east. A pretty dangerous cell that we're watching here. Again, tracking off to the east. Mansfield's next in track of this. Again, Mansfield is a much more populated area, so very dangerous cell heading toward that direction. Again, here's a look at the velocities as of right now. Rotation is currently just centered off to the west of Ontario. Here's a look at the live radar as of right now. Again, if there were to be a tornado, it'd be likely located somewhere right about there, kind of on that little hook there. Thank you, by the way, Christopher, for the $5 super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate your support. Thank you, Nicole, for subscribing. New severe thunderstorm warning in Texas. Thank you, James. This is currently in Ohio. There is actually a new, there's a new severe thunderstorm warning also over in Palo Pinto County, Texas. It's the latest update over there. We got one tornado warning ongoing. Let me go and update the warnings here. You're up to, let's see, we're up to 8 severe thunderstorm warnings. I believe 6 on our coverage area. So with that, again, area of rotation, if you're just tuning in, is right now near 314 and as well as Highway 30. Currently tracking off to the east. By the way, I am working on getting something that will say the state on the screen, just for reference. We're going to be working on that here pretty soon. So just for, we'll be getting that worked on pretty soon. But again, we're in Ohio. Hey, Misty, how you doing? And the storm's currently moving off to the east as of right now. Mansfield and Mifflin will be in the track next, and Ontario is probably within the storm right now. I would assume the area of rotation is probably right now over areas there near Ontario. Let me go up a little bit higher up in the atmosphere on the velocities. Let's take a look. And I'm not seeing a whole lot in terms of a strong rotation. It looks like, again, the rotation a little bit higher up. That's basically right about there. It's near Highway 30. That's, again, at, let's take a look. The time on this was 7:38, so 6 minutes ago was that one. Again, closer to the surface, it is right about 7:41. So again, that was about 3 minutes ago. We're getting our next radar update right now, so we'll have an updated version of this. But that's at least a couple of minutes ago. Again, a tornado could occur, by the way, in between radar scans. A lot of people don't, some people get confused by that. So again, radars update about every 2 to 3 minutes. We can always see a brief or weak tornado in between radar scans. It happens actually quite often. So just keep that in mind. Again, if you're in Ontario, Mansfield, even though the rotation might not be tight at the given moment, there definitely could be a tornado at any time. So just keep that in mind. And again, our next radar update's coming in right now, so we get the latest update on that. It's our ongoing tornado warning. And again, severe thunderstorm warning does go for those up near Congress as well as Lodi. So that's also something to monitor very closely if you're up that direction for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Here's the latest radar update. So again, air rotation's likely now near 314 and 30. It's going to be going over Ontario here in a moment. Again, moving off to the east about 25 to 30 miles per hour. Let's go back to the velocities. And again, the rotation as of right now is basically right along 309 and 314. Kind of that little junction there. It's going to be going towards Ontario here over the next couple of minutes. Rotation, again, is not tight, but it is a bit stronger than the latest scan. So we definitely have a bit of a rotation here. And here's a look at the live radar scan as of right now. Here's a look at the correlation coefficient. Shows a little bit of green, but that might just be a speck. Again, we're a bit far away from the radar site. So, and it's also facing from the north to south direction. So that might be picking up maybe a little bit of the pea-sized hail in between the storm there. So just kind of keep that in mind. But again, ongoing rotation is currently centered just barely to the west of Ontario. Let me back over to the velocities. And again, rotation is currently going towards Mansfield. Mansfield will probably be hit within the next 4 minutes. Again, no confirmation of this being on the ground, but there might be one here at some point pretty soon. No problem, Mary. Appreciate you tuning in. Lots of scuds on Vincent's screen. Okay, thank you. I would assume the rotation is a little bit tighter than before. Let me go up a little bit higher. See if we have updated versions here. Looks like we have a little bit more rotation than it looks like this is the latest scan, a little bit higher up in the atmosphere. And then this should be updating here in a second. We'll get the latest on the 1.3 degree angle. But at this current time, closer to the surface, rotation is a little bit tighter than the last scan. A little bit higher up in the atmosphere. It's a little bit more defined. It's not completely tight. Again, I can't confirm that there's a tornado with this. It's definitely not to that level, but we definitely could see one here pretty soon if it's able to develop. It's currently moving off to the east. Hey, Pilot, how you doing? Welcome back. Wind speeds with this are probably going to be somewhere around 60 to 65. This radar does underestimate a lot of the wind speeds, so. Sounds good, Aviation. Yeah, again, if you have any photos or videos, feel free to send those in on Twitter, again, or Discord. Our links are in the description below. Hey, Frankie, how you doing? Let me back over to Twitter, see if we have any photos coming in on this. Again, rotation is currently right there, just off to the west of Ontario. Now, let's take a look. The tornado warning is still ongoing. We're also getting more reports again of sirens going off at this point. Let's see, look at Mansfield here. Yeah, this tornado warning goes until 8 o'clock Eastern time. We might get an extension on this, depending on if the rotation holds together. Just for reference, again, here's a look at the cell as of right now in terms of the current reflectivity. Again, rotation is currently centered near Highway 30. And going off to the east. Wind speeds, just for reference, by the way, the latest update is 63 miles per hour. So that's the latest, just west of Mansfield. We are up to 62 mile, or about 62 to 65 mile per hour winds. And yeah, again, this is ongoing radar indicated rotation. By the way, 132,000 people are embedded in this warning, just for reference. So there's again, a lot of people embedded in this ongoing warning. And we also, by the way, this is some good news for these in the tornado warning. There is a little shower developing here. If that's able to kind of move quick enough to the east, that might hinder the overall inflow in this storm, therefore maybe kind of killing off the rotation. But here's a look at the latest radar scan. We still have some rotation, it looks like. That's near Ontario. That's kind of where our area of rotation is. And it's about to cross basically right over to 309 as well as Highway 30 here in a second. So back over to the velocities. Again, it's not updated yet. We're going to get our next radar update here in a second. Velocities, excuse me, should be coming in here in a second. No confirmation of a tornado yet, but we'll keep you updated. Thanks, Pro Magic. I appreciate it. How you doing, Sky Winter? By the way, I do appreciate you guys subscribing. Thank you. If I miss any subscribers, again, we're on ongoing tornado warning. I usually don't name off too many notifications during that time. This is a look at again, this is the live radars right now near Ontario. The velocities have not yet updated. This is where they were a couple of minutes ago. They should be closer to about 30 now. So 30 and about 309. That could a little bit of a junction there. And Mansfield as well. Tornado warning just got updated again, so it's now condensed even a little bit further. It does include still areas like Mifflin as well as Lucas and Mansfield. So that's the latest update on this ongoing tornado warning. It is a little bit more condensed. No longer includes areas back up near Shelby. So just for reference, a little bit more condensed. Is there anything bad for Louisville tonight? There is a possibility, but it should be pretty low. And it looks like we have some sort of wall cloud with this storm from the latest update. We might have some sort of wall cloud with this ongoing. Just as a heads up. Yeah, there's a lowering. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So there is definitely a little bit of maybe a little wall cloud trying to develop, maybe a lowering as well. Here's the latest radar update. So this is again closer to the surface near Ontario. It's not tight. Again, we don't have anything at the ground at this given scan, which is at 7:48. About not even about 2 minutes ago. It was about a minute and a half ago. Here's a look a little bit closer though, a little bit higher up. Have not fully updated, it looks like yet, but there is a little bit more rotation as we go a little bit higher up. So again, there might be a little bit more, maybe some sort, again, there's a lowering. That's what we're getting our latest reports on in terms of at least some sort of wall cloud, maybe even a funnel cloud. Definitely can't confirm that yet though. I don't think any storm chasers are in the area of that, but again, this is near Ontario as well as Mansfield, and it is tracking off to the east. Report of the warning going to be continued. I wouldn't doubt it. I would expect this does get extended if the rotation holds up. Again, if this shower back out here to the west is able to kind of cross over almost on this storm, we might be able to see this rotation weaken quickly. But again, that has a lot in between now and then that could happen. We definitely could see a tornado though at some point. Yeah, this is definitely a storm to watch. Definitely a lowering as of right now. We definitely have some sort of lowering here. Again, the ongoing rotation is currently near Ontario. And again, going to go into Mansfield here pretty shortly. Again, if you're in Mansfield, seek shelter immediately away from windows. Ontario, same with you. Lucas, you should be getting to your safe place right now. And eventually Mifflin. If you're over in Mifflin, definitely make sure you're starting to get closer to your safe place because this storm will be there probably within the next 10 minutes or so. The threat is not big today. It's actually fairly low. The overall threat, it was actually, for some reason, Canada kind of said there'd be a few strong tornadoes. I didn't see that happening. There's, I think, a tornado warning ongoing up there, but the overall threat was supposed to remain low today. And my reasoning behind that was because we were going to have a pretty decent low-level jet, also a pretty decent amount of wind shear. The only thing is the K-index, which was pretty high today, was going to kind of create a pretty high amount of coverage in terms of storms. So the overall rotation would be hindered with more storm activity, and kind of what we're seeing today. This is not a line of storms. It's more of just a elongated multi-cellular kind of complex that we have ongoing up to the north as well as down here to the south, including Canada as well as down here into Ohio. So the overall threat for a tornado was supposed to remain for the most part on the low end today, and that's kind of what we're seeing as of right now. But this is again our first tornado warning of the day in the United States. I think we had actually one up in eastern Michigan earlier, but the rotation, I believe it was around 12 or 1 o'clock this afternoon. There was actually a tornado warning, but this is our second one actually of the day, so I do apologize. There was actually one other one. There was one up in eastern Michigan, but other than that, there's a little bit of rotation. It looks like maybe up here as well. I don't think that's rotation. That's kind of at the far northern end, so that's actually not. But we definitely have some rotation down this direction. It looks like there is even a little bit trying to develop here, at least some stronger winds. You kind of see these reds are a little bit brighter. There might be some strong downburst winds up that direction. So that's a little bit of an update there. But again, our rotation as of right now is near Ontario. And next radar update is coming in right now. So the rotation is likely close, if not over Mansfield in the next radar update. When it's picking up in Canton, Ohio. Thank you, Sergeant, for the report. If you have any reports in the area, make sure feel free to put those in the chat as well. If you're in this area, again, make sure you're not getting close to windows if you're in this tornado warning. It's a dangerous cell. And we have some strong downburst winds as well. Again, warning expires at 8 o'clock Eastern time. We may get a new tornado warning depending on what we see in the next couple of radar scans. And here's a look at the live radar as of right now. Rotation is basically near Mansfield as of right now, near Highway 30. It's again tracking off to the east. Next velocities update, I believe, is just come in. And this looks to be very tight, or it's... Go over to radar scope here real quick. This is near Mansfield. We go back over to here to the wrist radar. Rotation has really gotten tighter on the latest radar scan. Let me go back over to the correlation coefficient. We're not seeing anything on the surface. This is a look at the velocities close up, and usually when this happens, it usually means it's pretty tight. Let me go a little bit higher up. This is the... We're going to go to the next radar scan from a little bit higher up. This is near Mansfield again. There might be something here. All right, this is the latest radar update from slightly higher up in the atmosphere coming in, it looks like right now. Refresh this real quick. Again, Mansfield's currently over this tornado warning. Okay, rotation's not completely tight. A little bit higher up, there's still rotation. It's definitely a little bit stronger than the previous scan, so there is definitely still some rotation ongoing here. It is really literally over Mansfield right now. So again, if you're Mansfield and you have not gotten to shelter, get to shelter. I mean, literally immediately. There definitely could be something with this at any given point. Again, here's a look at the live radar as of right now. We do have a shower behind it. As I mentioned before, if this can go quick enough, rotation might start to weaken. But as of right now, it looks to still be a bit strong at this given time. So definitely a very strong rotation as of right now near Mansfield. And again, Mansfield is a pretty populated area. We have about 130,000 people in this warning right now. So it is a very populated region that we're looking at over in Ohio. So just for reference, let me go back over the velocities again. And looking at Mansfield near Highway 30, still have a little bit of rotation there. This is slightly higher up in the atmosphere, closer to the surface, shows much tighter. But this is again where the rotation is. So might be something here. But a lot of scud clouds is what I've been hearing for a while here. What I've been hearing a lot so far is just a lot of scud clouds around this storm. Again, here's a look closer to the surface. So this is kind of where our rotation is as of given time at about 7:53. Our next radar scan should be coming in here in a moment. The rotation is likely right now over Mansfield though. So that's kind of what we're looking at as of right now. Again, this is the latest radar update slightly higher up in the atmosphere. This may be some good news that we're getting rain out in front of it as well. If it's able to kind of cross over again into the storm, the rotation may weaken, but it's a lot in between now and then still. We definitely have a lot in between now and then. Here's a look at the tornado warning that we got ongoing as of right now. Again, near Mansfield, Ohio. Very populated region over here of about 130,000 people. This is Ohio. Yes, this is currently in Ohio. It does show a very tight rotation at the surface. I've seen that, and as I mentioned before, the rotation higher up is not nearly as tight, so it's kind of hard to determine. At this given time, I'm not seeing anything that would give me an indication that we definitely have a tornado right now. Yeah, it could develop, but I'm not seeing that sort of development right now near Mansfield. This is just one radar site. If we look at the one further south, it's not nearly as tight either at the surface, but it is a little bit tighter, again, as mentioned before, slightly higher up. So it's kind of for reference. Again, overall rotation right now is near it's basically over Mansfield. So that's what we got going as of right now. Hey, Angel, how you doing? Welcome. Okay, so again, as of what I'm seeing so far, there's been a lowering, maybe a wall cloud of some sort, but yeah, it's gonna be hard to determine what we got going right now in terms of, since it is a bit more rain wrapped, it looks like in the latest scan, which again, this is a couple minutes ago. This is still like 3 to 4 minutes ago in terms of the radar scan. We're getting our next radar update though right now, but I would still say that if there is some sort of tornado in the next 5 to 10 minutes, it might get cut off a bit more because of the rain. It might be a bit more rain wrapped, but we're getting our radar update here in like literally 10 seconds. So get a bit more of an idea in terms of what we might have in terms of at least a storm. And we'll take a look from there. Again, Mansfield, the rotation's over your location right now, over the city. A very dangerous storm. I'm gonna refresh this. We'll get our next radar update now. And let's look at the storm as of right now. So as of now, there's still a decent inflow. The rotation's likely right about here, northern Mansfield, potentially. Looks like what we got going as of right now. I would expect a new tornado warning if the rotation is still there. We'll get that information here in a second. And rotation is basically right here near Mansfield. It's actually kind of right about here. That's where rotation is. Let's go slightly higher up. And next radar update's coming in for the higher up a little bit in a second. But again, right now it's basically in northern Mansfield is where our tighter rotation is. And moving off to the east. Moving back over to the... let's go a bit slightly higher up. Next radar update's coming in a second for a little bit higher up here in the atmosphere. But this tornado warning I would expect getting reissued, or at least extended, at least for a brief amount of time. I'm not sure how much longer this storm will be able to go with the other storm that we have out just behind it. Here's a look at the rotation. So again, our rotation is currently centered right off to the northeast of it's basically in northeastern Mansfield near Highway 42 and Highway 30. That's where it is as of right now. Between 4:30 and 30 is where our rotation is as of 7:58. So that's again our latest radar update that just literally came in about not even 30 seconds ago. That's our area of rotation as of right now. You can see it here, basically right around 30. We will likely get some sort of new tornado warning, I would expect, but cannot confirm that yet. And here's a look at the storm as of right now. Tracking again off to the east. Let me go back over here and turn it back on there. Okay, there we go. So this again, a look at the rotation. It's basically right there near Mansfield, moving off to the east. Yeah, if you know anybody in this area, make sure you're sharing. You don't have to share my stream, but just make sure you're messaging them about this storm. Yeah, make sure they're safe. It's probably gonna be rain wrapped unless you're on the southeastern end of the storm. I know a few storm chasers are out there, but all right, we got a new tornado warning. So this is our latest tornado warning that just got issued. This does include Jeromesville. Again, Mansfield's still included in this tornado warning. Mifflin, as well as Lucas, and as well as Loudonville, if I'm saying the name right. Those areas are included in this new tornado warning. It goes until 8:30 Eastern time. So another 30 minutes at least on this warning, unless something obviously dramatically weakens. But this warning will be going again until 8:30 Eastern time, moving about east about 25 to 30 miles per hour. Let me put a track on this storm again so you can get an idea if you're in the track of this cell over the next little bit. And we'll go and put kind of a bit more of a big track on this. This again moving a bit more to the east southeast. But here's a track. The list of the names are on the left side of your screen. Again, give yourself plenty of time in between these times. Make sure you're getting to shelter earlier than what these times even say. You should be in shelter regardless if you're in this tornado warning. Again, Lucas, Mifflin, Jeromesville, Loudonville, Perrysville, any of those areas should be in shelter immediately away from windows, as well as Hayesville. But the track as of right now, Lucas 806, Jeromesville 821, Loudonville right around 831, Shreve 848, Apple Creek 902, Brewster 930, Beach City 935, Navarre right around 939, Strasburg 944, Bolivia right around 9:49, and East Sparta right around 9:58 tonight. That's again your timing on this cell. Ongoing tornado warning again for those in Mansfield. That's where the rotation is. It's going to be moving towards Lucas and Mifflin over the next 5 minutes or so. So if you're in these two locations, you should be getting to shelter immediately. Jeromesville and Loudonville, start getting ready, get to your safe place. Again, the storm's quickly moving off to the east and east southeast. Thank you, Rose, for subscribing. Get it. Tennessee has a low-end chance for severe weather tonight, but it's very low. I think it's primarily going to be in Kentucky, but there's a possibility, I think, tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. This is currently Ohio, for those that are just tuning in. Again, tornado warning in a pretty populated area still. Let me take a look if we have anything on Twitter yet. And as I kind of said before, the storm might be overlapping, which would really help to weaken this rotation. Let me take off the track here. Let's go back over here to the cell. Back to the live. Let's look at the velocities. I apologize for that. But the velocities seem to weaken a little bit on this cell. You're 530. So as I kind of said before, if we can see the shower kind of overcross with this, the rotation may start to weaken. But it's not something that you should be kind of getting excited for. It's still being sheltered just in case, because it still could possibly develop again. And it very well could still be rotating. There might still be something that happens in the next several minutes. Let me get over to the velocities again. Let's go a little bit higher up in the atmosphere. We're next radar update here in a second. Again, velocities are now just off to the east of Mansfield near 430 and 39. And cell's currently moving off to the east. Back over here to the live stream. This is still rotating, as of what we know. Lots of lightning, thank you. Yeah, I'm assuming there's a lot of lightning out there. Would assume so much. And again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, make sure to the like button, subscribe if you're new here. Again, liking the live stream does help this get out to more people that might be in this area. So it definitely helps out a lot, not just for me, but as well as everybody that might be in the track of the storm. Again, this is a very dangerous cell moving off to the east. As of right now, though, as I kind of said before, there's still rotation. It's not something, again, that you should be getting out of shelter for at this point. There is definitely still some rotation. However, this one cell that I mentioned before that was back out to the west, it has now kind of sped up a little bit. It might be able to kind of start to weaken that rotation potentially over the next few minutes. minutes, and that may actually help at this point. We have another severe thunderstorm warning back down to the south for 60-mile-per-hour winds, by the way, that just got issued. Again, we'll get to the other severe thunderstorm warnings, but the primary focus over the next several minutes will be this tornado warning. So keep you updated with the latest with this primarily until stated otherwise. Hey, Virginia, how you doing? Welcome back. Yeah, it looks like there's rotation up here. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's not rotation. It looks like it from this radar scan, or radar angle, I should say, but it is definitely not rotation. We have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings up in North Dakota, by the way. Those will be moving into potentially Minnesota. All right, let me back to the warning count. Again, we got 1 tornado warning ongoing. We currently have 8 severe thunderstorm warnings across the United States. I believe only 6 of them. I'll put all 8 on there, because there are actually 8 right now. We'll cover all the other severe thunderstorm warnings as well. Hey, Weather, how you doing? Welcome back. Yeah, so as of right now, as I mentioned before, rotation is still there. It is broad in the latest scan, so it might be broadening out. Now, again, I kind of said it before. That shower and like downpour that developed just off to the west of Mansfield not too long ago, that might be weakening this cell, which again would be very beneficial, and hopefully weakening the overall tornado throughout that. That's our hope at this point. But again, just make sure you're still in shelter. Tornado warning goes until 8:30 tonight, and it literally just got issued about 6 minutes ago. So, and tornado warning does include areas in Mifflin, Lucas. You should be in shelter right now. Hayesville, Jeromesville, and Loudonville. You should be getting to shelter within the next couple of minutes. There should not be any waiting at this point. There's also potential for 60-mile-per-hour gusts, by the way, back up here. There's a little bit of those brighter reds are kind of representing maybe some 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's heading towards Hayesville and Jeromesville as well. So you should be staying away from windows, from that as well. Next radar update, by the way, is going to be coming in actually right about now. So we'll get our next radar update here in a second. Give you the latest on what we're expecting. Now, what's on the radar. Again, here's a look at the storm as of right now. Tornado warning still ongoing. And it looks like the rotation may have fizzled out in the latest scan. There's a little bit of an area that we might see another development back out here near Mansfield. But I'm going to take a look at the velocities here in a second. Definitely some heavy rain. Let's take a look at the velocities, see if they've updated at all. And as of now, there's a little bit of something trying to develop back out here near Mansfield, potentially. The velocity's a little bit closer to Lucas. Let me go back up a little bit higher up in the atmosphere. We'll go to that in a second. But the overall velocity's maybe a little bit closer to Lucas. May be weakening, but definitely still make sure you're in shelter. Here's a look at the storm as of right now. Velocities are showing right about there is where that rotation is now. Next radar scan's coming in right now for the slightly higher up. We'll take a look at that and take a look at the velocities. Again, velocities at the surface have been, it looks like, slightly inaccurate on the latest scans. We'll take a look a little bit higher up. And this is just now east-southeast of Mansfield. Tornado warning does still include Mansfield, so make sure you're still in shelter. There's a little area of rotation, looks like trying to develop back out to the west as well. All right, next radar scan's coming in a second for the velocities. Steven, I'm pretty sure there is. I've seen a few people from this area watching it. Devin, I do not. Maybe someday, though. I know there's some places out there. All right, let me go back over here to the velocities. The latest update should be coming in here right now. Let me refresh it. Again, rotations right now just north of Lucas. This will look at it as of right now. We might have something here. Let me go back to the correlation coefficient. There's a little bit of something showing up there. It's nothing that's defining that there would be a tornado on the ground, but there is a bit more rotation. It's like even slightly higher up. This look at the rotation as right now near Lucas. From what I'm seeing as of now, we have a little bit of rotation there. There's also another area trying to develop as well back out here just to the southwest of Mansfield. As I kind of said before, there might be something trying to develop there as well. So we have a couple of areas of something to watch here. Again, near 39. There's also an area that we have to watch pretty closely. That's a little bit of rotation there. Taking a look at Mansfield right now. All right, so what we have now, okay, this is the latest update, just for reference. We have a couple of areas of rotation right now. The main one, again, let me go and show you again here on the velocities. We have main areas right here near Lucas. We also have one up here near Hayesville. Kind of as I mentioned before, there's a little bit of rotation. And there's also another area of rotation trying to develop near Mansfield. It's very, very broad, not strong at all. It'll take a little bit to develop if it does. But these are our 2 main areas of rotation. Again, we got 2 areas of to note. One here near Lucas. and again, one up near Hayesville. Again, neither of them are really showing much on the correlation coefficient, which is good news so far, but we definitely could see this develop over the next several minutes. And it's currently moving off to the east. A lot of rain around these storms, so overall, if it's going to be pretty hard to find at least some sort of tornado in this for the storm chasers out there right now, but something to watch very closely as it moves off to the east. Hey, Monster, how you doing? I'll move back over to the live radar here. Next radar update's literally going to come in like within the next 30 seconds, so we'll get another update on that. Tornado warning again goes off to the east. Jeromesville, Hayesville, Mifflin, Lucas should all be in shelter right now. Harrysville and Loudonville, you should really be getting in shelter as well within the next minute or two. Storms again moving off to the east. We'll get our next radar update here in just a moment. It's going to be coming in the next 15 seconds, I would say. Here's a look at the velocities as of the 8:05 radar update. Again, we have 2 areas of rotation, one more pronounced, obviously, near Lucas. And the live radar update should be coming in here right about now. Get an update on that. Thank you, Sergeant. Hey, Wilson. That's interesting, Clinton. It's interesting. All right, let me back over to the live radar. I think it should be updating. Yeah, it's updating right now. I do apologize. It usually updates quicker, but the radar is currently in progress of updating. Again, we have 2 areas of rotation. Here's a look at the live radar, the latest update. So again, we got a little area over here just south of Mifflin. And again, one over near Hayesville. Next radar update, or in terms of velocities, will be coming in here in just a second. And this is a look at as of right now. So we got a couple of areas. Again, one is currently centered over just to the north of Lucas. Got a little area up near Hayesville as well. Again, neither of these are, I believe, on the ground at this point, from what we know. Let's go back over to the correlation coefficient. And neither of them are on the ground right now in terms of the radar, at least as of right now. Again, if you're not familiar with the debris radar or correlation coefficient, it basically shows, is there anything being lifted up in the atmosphere? We have to see colors like the blues. You can see the key at the top left of your screen. But as of right now, it's a lot of reds. Reds usually indicates just rain. So that's, again, very good news so far. But we have 2 areas of rotation. Again, the main area is going to be being just to the southwest of Mifflin. It's kind of in that little notch that we got going there. A little bit of an inflow still going into the storm. Here's a look at the velocities as of right now. Velocities are most prominent there. The velocities back out to the west, just south of Mansfield, are not nearly as strong. They're not really strengthening at all, at least in the latest scan. So that's good news for those back near Mansfield. But we still have a little bit of rotation here. Again, it's not strong. It looks stronger on this radar. I'm not really entirely sure why. Here's a look at what we got, though. So you can kind of see there might be something here. It very well could maybe be something, but overall the reds and greens are pretty spread apart, but there might be still something here in terms of maybe closer to the ground. Let me back over slightly higher up here. Still something there in terms of at least rotation. It's definitely there right now near Mifflin, but again, nothing on the ground is what we know. Correlation coefficient, again, not showing any debris being wafted up into the atmosphere as of now, which is, again, very good news so far. Well, again, we'll keep you updated with the latest, see if anything does transpire with this storm. And a lot of rain around this as well. Again, the rain that kind of combined with this storm has really helped to kind of weaken it a little bit and really hinder its overall development, because we probably would have seen a tornado by now, honestly, if it wasn't for that shower behind it that kind of just ran right into the storm. It obviously, rain, like showers that come from behind like that, really can help weaken rotation pretty quickly, but the rotation is still going. It's not gone. By the way, tornado warning just got condensed. It no longer includes Mansfield. So if you're in Mansfield, you're clear. You're good. You can get out of shelter. But Mifflin and Lucas, you should still be in shelter right now. Jeromesville, Hayesville, Perrysville, and Loudonville should all be in shelter as well immediately. Again, away from windows. No problem, K-Prime. Appreciate you tuning in. Again, I hope safe travels for you as you continue your journey wherever you are in Ohio. Keep you updated again with the latest. Try to see if we got new updates on the cell as of right now. And as of now, not seeing anything too crazy. I'm going to go to Mifflin. Let's see if we have any information there. The tornado warning goes until 8:30, so another 18 minutes. We might again see a new one later if we get some more rotation. Again, if you're just tuning in, the rotation is currently centered here as of about a couple minutes ago, just to the southwest of Mifflin. Again, it's moving off to the east and east-southeast. It'll be going towards 603 here in the next couple of minutes as it moves off to the east. Let me take a look. Let's see. There's 17,500 people in this morning, by the way. So it's kind of an update on that. No longer includes Mansfield, as I mentioned before. Mansfield is a pretty big city there. There's almost 100,000 people there. So it's a bit of a bigger town. Luckily, the storm, again, is a little bit less of a populated area, but still a lot of people. But I've covered tornado warnings with literally 2 people living in them. So this isn't, you know, a small amount of people by any means. Here's a look at the velocities again. So again, we have 2 areas of rotation, one currently just southwest of Mifflin, another little area up near Hayesville. So we got 2 areas as of right now. I would expect the one up near Hayesville to primarily be comprised of winds more than anything in terms of damaging winds. I don't see a whole lot that would indicate at least any crazy sort of tornadic rotation at this point. But this is the latest radar update, so it looks like a lot of rain now kind of overspreading across this storm near 39, near 511 as well, just south of Mifflin. You can kind of see this a bunch of rain basically around this rotation now. Let's go back over to the velocities. Let's take a look at the latest updated velocities, and the latest scan showing a massive broadening in the rotation. So that, again, that's extremely good news that we're seeing so far with this cell. And I mentioned it before, when we start to see that little storm kind of come from behind, I mentioned it literally almost 30 minutes ago. If that happens, we're going to see the start to weekend. We definitely have. So definitely very good news on the latest scan. Now, it's not something that you should get out of shelter immediately for. There's still a tornado warning. It could maybe redevelop and recycle at some point. So just stay in shelter, stay in your safe place. Again, it doesn't hurt to do it. We got another 15 minutes until this tornado warning expires. Otherwise, it might get canceled. One of the two. We'll see what happens. Thank you, Silver Fox, for the $25 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. You're an awesome natural. I appreciate that. Thank you. I've been doing weather since I was 3, so appreciate that a lot. Appreciate your support. Appreciate your super chat as well. Thank you. Thank you. We got new severe thunderstorm watch down that way? No, we have not. So we don't have any new severe thunderstorm watch down that way. We have a new damage report coming in of 2-foot diameter tree down and blocking Tiffin Avenue and Willard, over in Huron, Ohio, or Huron County, excuse me, Ohio. So we have a new damage report up that direction. There was a damaging windstorm that went through that area earlier. So just an update there. But a lot of good news. Again, very good news so far. It's not all doom and gloom, but there's definitely some good news here that we're starting to see the rotation at least starting to subside a little bit. It definitely could re-strengthen, so still stay in shelter. We'll have to watch the next couple of scans because things can dramatically change within 5 minutes. But overall, it looks like we're starting to see a little bit of a weakening. We still have a little broad rotation over here near Hayesville, but that is not nearly as concerning. Again, it's primarily likely damaging winds. You can kind of see these reds. The brighter reds can represent some higher wind speeds, possibly around 60 miles per hour. Just for reference, there is still a severe thunderstorm warning ongoing for 60-mile-per-hour winds. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, by the way, make sure to hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Again, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. We are like 100 subscribers from 11,000, so I would appreciate if you hit the subscribe button. Again, we do live streams like this all the time, so hitting the subscribe button does not hurt by any means. It is free to do, by the way. Red button down below. All right, let's go back to the correlation coefficient. Again, a lot of reds right now. So again, if you're not familiar with what the correlation coefficient is, let me go back over here. So again, it's basically like what we're looking at in terms of debris. In this instance, when we see a lot of reds like this, it usually just indicates that we're looking at primarily just rain. Sometimes when we start to see some oranges and even greens pop up, it can sometimes indicate some hail. In this instance, we're not even seeing that. There's definitely not really any hail with this cell. But when we look at some of these cells, if there's any sort of tornado on the ground, we usually can see a pretty dark blue circle or some sort of green circle kind of on radar. We see it a lot of the times with ongoing tornadoes on the ground. So definitely kind of something to keep in mind if you're kind of new to the weather world and whatnot. That's kind of what we look at when we're talking about the correlation coefficient. In terms of the velocities, though, it's pretty self-explanatory. Greens are going towards the radar in terms of winds, and then reds are away from the radar. Again, reds are going to anything brighter and brighter colors, so brighter reds representing higher wind speeds. Greens, and as well, if you're seeing like dull greens like this, very dark greens, that's representing lower wind speeds, but these brighter greens, again, are representing higher wind speeds. So something to kind of learn if you're new to the weather stuff around any of this. And again, my radar is a little bit different, so, but overall, it's primarily just heavy rain. We're not seeing any hail out of this storm at this point. We'll keep you updated with the latest. We'll see if anything kind of develops here over the next few minutes. Again, the area of rotation's right there. It's pretty broad in the latest scan, but we'll see what happens over the next couple of minutes. Again, tornado warning is still ongoing until 8:30, unless otherwise canceled, which as of now it has not been canceled, which would make sense. Again, this could recycle. It's so hot. I know it, Cody. It's hot across the southern plains. Yeah, again, I'll go back to the North Texas storms as well a little bit. But again, right now, I'm primarily focusing on the tornado warning for now. There's also there's still 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in Ohio. We got 1, or actually 2 now, down in North Carolina, so that's a new update there. All right, here's the latest look, excuse me, at the live radar in terms of the velocities. They have definitely begun to weaken out. Now, look at the live radar as of right now. It's a lot of rain. This might get canceled. I would assume this is going to get canceled here pretty shortly. There is still a little bit of rotation, but it's extremely broad. It's a little bit south of Jeromesville as well. The overall rotation south of Jeromesville is pretty weak. It's nothing too crazy. There's a little bit of rotation over here. But again, the main area of rotation was back here. I'll kind of show you if you're just tuning in. Let me go back a few scans here. Just to look at a few scans ago, there's much more rotation here near Mansfield. You can see how much more reds and greens were kind of combining there. Now, there was probably no tornado on the ground. There might have been one in between scans as well, maybe a brief tornado. But the latest scans, you can just see how quickly this weakened out. Again, rain really cut this off. Rain, cool air, really killing off the rotation. See, between about 8:05 to 8:10, it just rapidly went away. I mean, there's nothing there anymore on that portion of the rotation. There's still a little bit up here. Again, more damaging winds more than anything right now near Jeromesville. Those brighter reds representing, again, higher wind speeds. So that's the latest there. For some reason, I'm getting told that my RAM usage is critically high. That's great. Again, the cell's currently moving off to the east. Keep you up there with the latest. Again, tornado warning still ongoing until 8:30, unless otherwise canceled, which has not been canceled yet. Thank you, Twin, by the way, for subscribing. Again, if anybody else is subscribed, I do appreciate it. I'm going to probably miss a lot of subscriptions. I'll get to them potentially a little bit later. Yeah, but as of right now, it looks like the rotation is starting to weaken out a little bit. Franklin, they do occasionally come. They usually don't come until like 3 hours in, though. I'm doing good, Sniper. How you doing today? You're doing well. I'm just going to restart this real quick just to make sure my computer doesn't overload or something crazy. I don't think it will, but... How you doing, Sniper? Alright, let's go back down to the tornado warning. Whoa, what just happened? Alright, there we go. And here's a look at the storm as of right now. Let me go back over to here. I just need to reset this up real quick. For some reason, my RAM usage was high, which it usually never is, but... Hopefully that doesn't become an issue. Figure that out. Again, overall tornado threat today is going to be low, but if any storms are able to become discrete like this one did for a while, definitely could pose that potential for maybe an isolated tornado or two. So, we're looking at as of right now. Tornado warning, again, has not been canceled yet. Can't rule out that it does, though, at some point. Again, 9 minutes left on the tornado warning. You might still see this go for a little bit. Let me go back over here to the live radar. Let's go back over here. So look at the storm as of right now. Again, a lot of rain at this point. Next radar update's coming in here in just a second, so we might be able to see this reorganize potentially, but I do think the threat of that is pretty low. Again, thank you, Silver Fox, for the $25 super chat from not too long ago. I do appreciate you a lot. Again, any other super chats tonight, any other subscribers, I do appreciate you guys. Again, we primarily focus on the tornado warning, so it'll take me a little bit to get to those, but we might get a severe thunderstorm watch up in extreme northeastern South Dakota and extreme southeastern South Dakota and western Minnesota. But it's only a 20% chance, but there's some storms ongoing up that direction. We do have some severe thunderstorm warnings up that way. Just for reference. There are 11 severe thunderstorm warnings now, by the way. Let me update this count. We're up to 11. Still got one tornado warning ongoing. Again, that's this storm right now. We have 7 flash flood warnings across the United States as well. Again, we're in Ohio if you're just tuning in. Oh, Franco, I've never heard of those. No, I have not heard of those. Yes, Christian. Yes, there's actually, for those that are maybe been here for a while, we do have a new channel called More Max Velocity. You have to look it up on YouTube. I did not link it in the description yet, but yes, that is a thing. Look at the velocities as of right now. Let's go a little bit higher up. Just kind of give you a little bit of a reference here. Actually, a little bit of rotation. Looks like trying to develop just east of Lucas now. There's a little bit of something. Let me go back down to the Columbus radar on my phone. It looks like more of downburst winds, but seeing a lot more downburst winds this part of the storm near Perrysville. The tornado warning has just been condensed, so they might be still considering this as if there's still rotation here. Near north of Perrysville. There's still a little bit there. I would think that's more rain more than anything, but if we go over to, again, to the velocities, let me change this over to the velocities here. The winds are pretty high here. This is where we have some pretty high winds. Going to the base velocity. See, these reds that pop up here, those are usually pretty high winds. But on the over here, it's not nearly as strong. You can kind of see, though, these are the winds, again, going towards the radar. A little bit more rotation there near 511, but rotation for the most part, I think, has remained pretty broad. Let's go over to the reflectivity correlation coefficient, kind of matching up. A lot of reds at this point. Again, nothing confirming that we have a tornado as of right now, but still something to watch pretty closely. Again, tornado warning still ongoing until 8:30. I don't think we'll get a new tornado warning unless that rotation continues. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued. That is likely going to replace the tornado warning, but this is for Millersburg, Shreve, Worcester. I keep saying Worcester. Worcester, though. Apple Creek, as well as Kilbuck. Those areas are included for the potential for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. So that's our new severe thunderstorm warning. Hey, dog, you're completely fine. No problem at all. No problem at all. I appreciate you tuning in. That means the world to me. Thank you, Patrick. I'll take a look at it. This is currently moving east. This is not going towards Canada. Again, this is in central Ohio. No problem, Hope. I appreciate you tuning in. I do live streams like this all the time, so if you haven't hit the subscribe button down below, again, I would appreciate it. Be updated with the latest. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, if you have any questions, by the way, feel free to leave those in the chat. Again, it's a pretty interactive live stream, especially when we don't have tornado warnings, but we're only 50 subscribers, by the way, from 11,000, so we need 50 more subscribers for that. All right, let's go back over here to the velocities. Let me go back to the tornado warning labeled here. So again, this is our area of rotation. It's still fairly broad. It looks very tight on this radar. It's definitely not that tight. There's a little bit of rotation, though, still ongoing. We're going to get our next radar update in probably about a minute or so stay tuned. Kind of where it is at this point. Again, just to the north of Perrysville. Still stay in shelter. If you're in Perrysville, Hayesville, Loudonville, those areas should still be in shelter. Thank you, Rosie, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Most places in Ohio will get hit tonight. If you're anywhere basically east of Columbus, even south of Cleveland or east of Cleveland, you'll probably get hit by something. But overall, storms are going to be filling in within the next couple of hours. Obviously, we're still not at the peak in terms of storm coverage. So anything near Michigan? I don't think so. I think Michigan, if anything, it's just maybe a passing shower or so. But I don't think there's anything severe up that direction. There is actually a tornado warning up in London. I might be actually able to cover that a little bit. I do have a radar site that can kind of see it. A little bit of rotation up that direction. It's pretty broad as of right now. That's over in Canada. But we'll see. And we're going to kind of wait and see what happens with this tornado warning over the next couple of minutes. Next radar update is going to be coming in right about now, so get our latest information on that. Yeah, I do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. It does mean the world to me. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the chat. I'll get to more questions after the tornado warning gets uplifted. Obviously, it's been primarily just focused on this tornado warning at this point, but definitely more of the priority than anything. All right, here's our latest look at the velocities. Still a little bit of, again, the brighter greens representing higher wind speeds. We definitely have some pretty strong damaging winds there. Still a little bit of rotation from the northern radar, but from the southern radar, it's not nearly as pronounced. Again, I'm looking at radar scope on my phone too to kind of give myself an idea. Anyways, definitely some high winds. I mean, we're talking about potentially some 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. I think more than anything, this is more wind related than anything. But there is a bit of it's trying to shape a little bit again. So I'll have to watch the storm still pretty closely as it moves off to the east, because it is trying to shape itself a little bit more. There's not nearly as much rain out in front of it. Definitely have a bit more of an inflow. Definitely a bit more of an opportunity for this to start to rotate again. So I'll have to watch it closely. And it is tracking off to the east. Hey, Abby, how you doing? Did I miss anything? Not a whole lot. We've had a tornado warning. That's been the main thing over in Mansfield, excuse me. That was the main area. Hey, Texie, how you doing? Welcome back. My thoughts on Saturday. It's probably going to be some sort of MCS situation. I don't expect a whole lot in terms of a tornado threat, but there might be an isolated tornado or two. But differential phase, I'm pretty sure that's hail if you're looking at radar scope. Yeah, differential phase is hail. If you're on, for example, if you're over on, whatchamacallit, radar scope, the differential phase will kind of show you hailstone sizes. I don't know if they show you the estimate on hailstones, unless you have some sort of pro version of it, but that is what the differential phase is. It's basically what this is on my radar here. I'm going to show you. Here's a look at the hail radar. So it kind of shows you these like little greens, or excuse me, blues and yellows. These represent hailstones, but that's kind of what it is. It's just kind of in a different format. Yeah, differential phase is more related to hail. Thank you, Big Bear, for becoming a 3-month member. I appreciate that a lot. We're gonna ever get rain in Oklahoma. There is gonna be a possibility, probably not the next possibility. There's gonna be a little bit tonight if you're in southern Oklahoma. I can't remember where you are in Oklahoma, but there might be another chance going into next week. We're going to start seeing a bit more weather pattern, a little bit more active over in the southern plains over the next, few days. Or not few days, few weeks, I mean. It will stay probably dry through the weekend and then early next week. But we'll have another pattern coming in mid to late next week. Rain is starting to come a little bit more often than not. At least from what we had earlier. Hey, Elijah, how you doing? Canton, Ohio will probably see storms in a little bit. And severe weather, mainly going to be damaging winds. Yes, Crypto, I'll get to that here shortly. Also, we got a new tornado warning. Tornado warning does expire within the next 60 seconds. Again, if we don't see a new one, I would assume this is going to be probably it, at least for the moment. But I'm going to take a look at the next radar scan, even if this expires, because there was a little bit trying to develop again. We have some very potentially strong downburst winds with this. They might be up to 70 miles per hour, so... Here's a look at the storm as of right now. So, latest radar update still showing a pretty decent looking cell. Has not a whole lot of rain out in front of it anymore, so we definitely could see this try to recycle a little bit. Back over to the velocities on this. This is the latest radar update. Go over to the regular base velocities. Still strong winds, and again, from the other radar sites, it wasn't really showing much in terms of rotation. And the tornado warning has officially expired, by the way. I know it's still ongoing here, but it has officially expired, or been canceled at least. But yeah, if you go from another radar site, it's not nearly as strong. But we'll have to watch this still pretty closely. But let's go real quick. I know if you get... what just happened? Let me go over to London real quick. There's a tornado warning up there in Canada. Let me change over my thing here. I'll show you it real quick because we're primarily looking at weather over here. But there is a tornado warning up here, I believe near London. I think I can see the velocities a little bit, but we'll take a look real quick. And I'm not seeing a whole lot. I think the rotation was kind of just south of London. It's going to be really hard to see. Again, this is not really a Canada-type stream, but again, just make sure you're in your safe place if you're in that tornado warning. I can't really get a good view on it, though, because I don't have a radar for it. Storms, by the way, just southeast of Cleveland are starting to weaken out a bit. That's good news. Maybe some gusty winds as they move off to the south and east. We still got 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, 60-mile-per-hour winds ongoing. Again, we're going to be live for a while here, so make sure you stay tuned. We'll keep you updated again with the latest. We'll watch this rotation as well pretty closely. If there's any newly developed areas in that storm, we'll keep you updated. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of warnings tonight. We still got 7 severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing. New warning was just issued for this location near Hayesville. Tornado possible label is still on this, so it's still not out of the question. We might still see potential for maybe a tornado with this later on. But again, tornado possible label just got reissued onto this, so do update there. Happy birthday, Defender. Happy early birthday, I should say. It's been quiet for tornadoes. It actually hasn't. Earlier this year, it was really active. We were going on pace for a record-breaking year in terms of tornadoes. Back in March, I think it was. There was a lot down in the southern plains. We do have a couple of other warnings down in Texas real quick. I want to get to these because I do have to post about it a little bit. But we have a lot of damage reports coming in. Structural damage due to winds at a Taco Bell in Gainesville. That's the first I've heard. I've never really heard of a Taco Bell getting damaged. But apparently structural damage to a Taco Bell in Gainesville was reported in Cook County. That's in northern North Texas. So we actually had a report of that. Media partner relayed public report. Cattle trainer blown over and large tree snapped in Lindsay. There's also house damage by high winds over in northwest portion of the county. Getting wind reports of multiple trees down over in near Chico. Runaway Bay also had a house with major structural damage as well and tree damage. So we're seeing a lot of damage. And a barn blow down, debris, and a tree down over in, that's over in, I don't know why it says Runaway Bay, but that's basically southeastern Jack County. So we got a severe thunderstorm warning ongoing. But yeah, Taco Bell was apparently damaged over in Texas. Does anybody have photos of that? That's interesting. Taco Bell, Gainesville. Let me look it up. Oh my god, there is a lot of damage to that Taco Bell in Gainesville. That is insane. I'm going to retweet it on our Twitter. There was again, a Taco Bell suffered some damage. Go to our Twitter. It's linked in the description below. I just retweeted it. There is some serious damage to the Taco Bell in Gainesville, Texas. I don't think people are going to be going to that Taco Bell for a while because there is a serious damage amount to that place. This is like a breaking headline here. I gotta go ahead and post this to my Facebook. But yeah, again, Taco Bell was damaged in Gainesville. So if you yeah, that is interesting. Posting this to our Facebook page right now. You can also find it on our Facebook here in a second. But yeah, that's the latest report. Again, Taco Bell damaged. That is very interesting. All right, I'm gonna go back up here for the moment, and we'll go over here. Thank you, Donna, for becoming a Storm Chaser member. I really appreciate that. Thank you. By the way, I appreciate everybody subscribing. I'm gonna get to the notifications here in a second. Again, if you're just tuning in, Taco Bell was damaged in Texas. I'm gonna post some photos on Facebook too. I do apologize. I'm gonna post this on Facebook. Let me go and make sure I do this real quick. Yeah, if you have any questions, by the way, feel free to leave those in the chat. I'm gonna get to more of those here in a second. I do run a page called North Texas Weather, so I kind of have to post this. All right. All right. Sorry about that. So again, if you're just tuning in, Taco Bell was damaged over in Gainesville. Yeah, if you want to see photos of that, you can go check my tweet on Twitter. Again, link in the description. It is a very, very interesting sight to see. That's all I gotta say. I think I retweeted it at least. Take a look. Yeah, okay. All right, sorry about that. All right, we're back. Yeah, I appreciate you becoming a member again. Donna, appreciate that a lot. All right, thank you, Donna, as well as Elijah, Cable, Sherry, Brown, Boo, and as well as Adam for all subscribing. I appreciate it, guys. Welcome. Hey, Dobbs, how you doing? As well as Michael, welcome back. Change your title, Taco Bell damaged. I'm gonna see if I can at least get permission from this guy to use it here on our live stream. If I do, I will go ahead and show it on live stream. And also, if you're not on our Discord server, you can join our Discord server and you can also see those photos. They're under the weather reports tab. Somebody just posted the tweet. So, just an update there. Again, Taco Bell damaged in Texas. Yes, it was really damaged. I'm not even kidding. That was pretty. I was really surprised by that. That's all I gotta say. All right, let me get back to some questions here. Taco Bell got damaged because I ate there. Okay, we don't need those jokes here. Oh man, I mean, honestly, I feel bad for them because that is actually really bad. I mean, that's not damage that you can just clean up within about 5 minutes. That's damage that's going to be there for probably at least a couple of weeks, I would assume. So, some pretty significant damage there. Hey, Speller, how you doing? Pittsburgh won't see anything tonight. I don't expect much tomorrow either. I'm going to kind of focus on these storms again. We still have a tornado possible label on this storm. Let me go back over to the velocities. And the velocities are going crazy over here. If we go to the radar site back out here to the east, Pittsburgh will probably just see some 60-mile-per-hour winds, but anything, by the way. But if you see the look of the rotation here, it's not really that strong. It's more of just a, I think, damaging wind threat at this point. But we definitely could see, again, if it might be able to recycle. But, again, tornado possible label is going to be on the storm, at least for the moment. Oh, is the stream lagging at all? Is that any buffering at all? It says on YouTube it is, but it doesn't look like it is at all. Yeah, if you have any photos or videos of anything that has happened tonight in your location, feel free to send those into our Twitter. Yeah, I mean, that Taco Bell took some serious damage. Hey, have fun, Defender. Again, happy early birthday. Hope your birthday goes well, and hope you have a great day. Midnight, not a whole lot expected in Michigan tonight. No buffering. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube says it's not receiving enough video to remain smooth streaming, but my bitrate's perfect. Again, here's a look at the severe weather that we got for the rest of this evening. Again, we're going to see more storms develop probably over the next hour, even as far south as maybe Columbus and Dayton possibly as well. But overall, these storms will be primarily producing 60-mile-per-hour winds, or maybe up to 70, as well as maybe a little bit of quarter-sized hail. Main threat, though, is going to be damaging winds. Again, I could not rule out maybe an isolated tornado with a storm later on, so we're still going to be covering this pretty closely. We'd have a severe thunderstorm down over into the south. Again, here's a look at DFW right now in the whole North Texas region. A little bit of rain kind of going through some of the northwestern counties. And again, just for those that might be just tuning in, again, we had a Taco Bell damaged over in Gainesville. And yeah, if you want to see photos on that, you can go to our Twitter. We retweeted a tweet. And it's also on our Facebook page. Again, both of those links are in the description below. But again, Taco Bell was damaged up that direction. We had a lot of damage actually with these storms, which is pretty impressive. I mean, honestly, the severe weather was supposed to remain pretty limited. We had also major structural damage to a house over in Runaway Bay. Reports of structural damage as well over a barn blow down, debris, and a tree down in southwest of Runaway Bay. So we had a lot of damage actually over in North Texas. So now, obviously, the tornado warning was ongoing as the severe weather was ongoing. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning, though, ongoing near Ranger and Strawn. This is for 60-mile-per-hour winds as well as potentially some nickel-sized hail. Let's move down to the south. That's what we got going on right now over here. Again, this is all associated with those outflow boundaries. And also, we have a strong storm up here in Sherman. This is not warned, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does get warned. Probably a little bit of quarter-sized hail in there. How's the weather in Indiana? Let's hop up that way. There's actually some storms up that way. And also, we have some storms over in South Dakota. I'm going to go to these real quick. Let's just look at these. This is all outflow-driven. We got a couple of storms with some quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds moving down to the southeast. Yeah, that's over in South Dakota. Not going to focus too much on that. We have some other storm development, though, down over here. Let me back over to the radar. And down in far southern, I believe this is Illinois. Yeah, this is Illinois. So far southern Illinois near Vienna is currently producing some gusty winds and maybe some penny-sized hail. Nothing too crazy. These are moving off to the east. Again, we had a possibility that we'll get a severe thunderstorm watch. It doesn't look like these storms have really been able to develop that widespread, though. It's been very isolated activity up and down Indiana and as well as through southern Illinois. So very good news so far for those locations. But again, we got a lot of severe weather still ongoing up here, closer to areas, again, over in Ohio. So these are still storms to watch pretty closely. Let me go back over the high-def radar here. Here's a look at it as of right now. Here's back to the velocities. Again, we have primarily damaging winds, but I cannot rule out, again, maybe an isolated tornado at some point down the road. But overall, I think the wind threat is more concerning than anything. Again, we still have a tornado possible label on this cell, but wouldn't expect too much there. We do have spotters that are reporting minor flooding on back roads near Hayesville. Also encountered some strong winds, but no damage seen at the time of the call. That was at 8:30, so that might have been Brandon or Vince or one of the guys that are chasing right now. I'm not 100% sure on that. And we may have had some damage, but that was over just to the southwest of Jeromesville. So far, we have no damage reports from that tornado-warned storm, which is good news, but I would expect that something might come in here pretty soon. All right. The Sherman storm. Yeah, the Sherman storm probably has a little bit of hail. Sniper boy, you're good. No problem at all. Honestly, I'm really shocked though. I don't know if we have any other damage reports coming in from Texas. Let me take a look if we have any new reports. Again, a Taco Bell was completely destroyed. It's not completely destroyed, but the whole roof was ripped through over in Gainesville. But yeah, that's really what we got going in terms of the damage out that direction. So it's pretty crazy to see, though. I mean, a Taco Bell out of all places. There wasn't really any buildings that looked like around it that got damaged. It was just Taco Bell. Not weird. Thank you, Melissa, Love, as well as Kim for all subscribing. I appreciate it, guys. Welcome. North Carolina. I'll take a look at it. There's a couple of storms down in North Carolina. I think these are mainly just damaging wind events. We're not really looking at any tornado threat. There was a report of multiple trees down in Oakboro, North Carolina. So, I'll look at the velocities, though. And I'm not seeing much. It's mainly just wind. So, don't see anything in terms of at least a wall cloud or anything like that. Bug flying around me. All right, let me go back up here to the north. Yeah, we'll keep you up there with the latest on the Texas storms as well. I know we have a tornado warning up in Canada. Again, I cannot really cover those because those are not in this. Yes, tornado warning is canceled. You are correct. Collin County is not going to probably see much tonight. It looks you might see something overnight, but the overall rain is, you might get a little bit of rain, but I think more of an overnight threat for you. You might see a little bit of rain overnight. Got a pretty strong storm though in Sherman. I'm surprised it's not warned. I haven't got any. I was going to show the Taco Bell pictures, but that guy hasn't responded to me yet. We're only 6 subscribers from 11,000, by the way. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. We are 6 away from 11,000. It's a crazy milestone, by the way. And again, I've never thought I would even hit 5,000. Granted, even 2,000. Somehow we're up to 10. Anything in Columbus? Columbus might see something. I think the threat, though, is going to be pretty low. Down right now to the west of you, there's a few storms actually developing, but let me go over to this radar. I don't think this is the radar site that is supposed to. This is the radar site down here. Yeah, we got a couple of little showers developing back out to your northwest. These might end up getting a little bit stronger as they develop. And again, we might get a severe thunderstorm watch down here, but it's going to really depend on what we see in terms of development over the next little while. And this is our severe weather ongoing up here in northern central portions of Ohio. These are, again, tracking off to the east. 60-mile-per-hour winds being the main concern with these. We hit 11K. We officially hit 11,000 subscribers. It's really crazy to think. I still can't believe that we even hit, 2,000 to be honest, but appreciate everybody subscribing. I mean, we're probably the fastest growing channel in terms of the weather category, at least. Obviously, the bigger names are growing faster, but in terms of percentage-wise, it's crazy. Appreciate everybody subscribing, as always. Really do appreciate everybody here. It means the world to me that you're even tuning in. Over 600 of you right now are tuning in. It means the world. Appreciate it. Love to do what I do. Love it. No problem, Rosie. Come on, rain. I know the rain really needs. I agree with you. I wish we had more rain right now. And unfortunately, there is a possibility that we see a bit more of a pattern change next week. The temperatures are actually not globally, but at least in the United States, are forecasted to drop a bit more than this week. So there might be something in terms of good news maybe coming next week. But again, that'll be more on our next forecast. I'll have a bit more details on that. Should have 11 million. I don't think 11 million is ever going to happen. That's just absurd. I mean, that's like way, way above for like most people on YouTube to begin with. But still crazy to think I have 11,000 subscribers. Western Pennsylvania has a potential for maybe some damaging winds tonight. Again, storms will be moving toward your direction here over the next little bit. Let me put a timing guide on these storms, by the way. They are not moving overly fast. We actually have a tornado possible label now on this cell, by the way. So latest update on this, we still have a tornado possible label on this storm. So the rotation, I'm pretty sure, is back out here just to the west of Holmesville, near Nashville maybe, and as well as Shreve. I'll go back to the velocities here in a second. Let me put a track on this area of storms, though, kind of give you an idea of where it's heading. Doing this. I'm going to put a track on the area of storms here. It's moving about 28 to 30. I'll put about 30 miles per hour on this, kind of give you a safe estimate. Timing, it's kind of be messy here, but it's on the left side of your screen. Let me just click off of that. There we go. So the timing here, Mount Vernon, 848, as well as Perry Heights, 911, North Canton, right around 916, Canton. I know some viewers here are from Canton, 920, Dover, 928, Louisville or Louisville, I'm not sure which the pronunciation of that is, but 931, New Philadelphia, 932, Newcomerstown right around 945, as well as Wellsville, 1040 tonight. So that's your timing. Again, these storms will be entering into Pennsylvania probably just after 10:30, maybe 11 o'clock tonight. Kind of my estimated time of arrival for those locations. Again, that's the line moving off to the east. Yes, Case, I do. Yep. All the United States. Again, if you're a new viewer here, we do cover all the United States, all severe weather events. Well, not all severe weather events, but most of them. I go live for pretty much all the slight risks and anything above that. Not all of them, but most of them. Thanks, Sierra. I appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. It's gonna rain in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Probably not Daniela tonight. Probably won't. Question for Lincoln, Nebraska for the next couple of days. There's a possibility of severe weather. I don't think tomorrow, but there's one the following day, which I think is Friday. There's a low-end chance on Friday. There's a marginal risk. I know that for a fact. But again, low-end threat there. And here's your timing on the line of storms. Let's just look back down here real quick. We still got one report. Again, we had if you're just tuning in, we had a Taco Bell that got damaged, and pretty significant damage as well, down to a Taco Bell in Gainesville, Texas. So that was from a storm that was ongoing there. Severe thunderstorm warning stormed. It was not a tornado, most likely, but there was some damage there. No problem, Case. Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, from Arkansas. Arkansas has remained pretty dry recently. I know there's some storms over in Little Rock, I believe, this past week, but nothing too crazy. Southeast Pennsylvania. Southeast Pennsylvania will not see storms tonight. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that. Thank you, Vanessa, as well as, again, I'm behind on questions. This stream is not delayed by any means. It's just I'm very behind on stuff. Thank you, Noah, as well as Vanessa, Case, Grace, Jeff, Eric, Jason, Richard, Will, and Roz for all subscribing. I appreciate it, guys. Welcome. This is Ohio. Yeah, I'm going to be adding a little thing that will say what the state is pretty soon. Again, stay tuned. That will be coming out probably within the next week. Middle Tennessee, you're talking about tonight. There might be isolated severe weather, but overall the threat's going to be pretty low. You might see some isolated storms producing maybe a little bit of isolated damaging winds, but the threat should stay pretty low tonight. Timing, I can probably give to you here in a minute. But just give me a minute. I'm still trying to catch up on questions. Stuff. Yeah, overall threat is going to be probably 60-mile-per-hour winds, if anything, for Tennessee, anywhere in Virginia. Thank you, Sniper. I got you. I saw the first message. Thank you. We had a water spout off the coast of Daytona Beach. Really? There was a water spout up that direction? Thank you, Gamer Pro, for the $2 super chat. In 2013, a tornado hit a Taco Bell near me. I don't know if that's meant to be a joke or if that's actually true. But if that's true, that's pretty scary. Yes, Robert. Yep, I do all Hurricane 2. I do all the tropics. We haven't had a whole lot this season so far, but... Oh, it's via social media? Is it out there? Actually kind of curious if there's photos out there on it. Again, here's your timing on the line of storms. It hasn't really changed since I put it on here, but I will remove it here in a second. Yeah, if you need to take a screenshot of the timing for those in Ohio as well as into Western Pennsylvania, feel free to. Let me look this up. Daytona Beach water spout. Wow, there actually was. It was literally right off the coast. Man, that's crazy. That was like right along the beach too. That is pretty crazy to see. Thanks for letting me know, by the way. I didn't even know that. I will also retweet that on my Twitter, so if you want to take a look, again, my Twitter is linked in the description below. While you're at it, by the way, if you go on my Twitter, make sure to follow. I would appreciate it. I think we're pretty close to 250 followers over on Twitter. 9 away. All right. All right, let me tick off the timing here. Sniper, I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. We will see, because there's still a possibility that we see a tornado tonight. I'm still going to kind of be live here for a while. Let's go back over to Dallas real quick, take a look at the storms that we got ongoing. Warning just got canceled, by the way, so this storm's weakening out. Looks to be mostly weakening out stuff. We still got a strong storm up in Sherman. Again, the Taco Bell was over in Gainesville. For reference, that's just north of Dallas and Fort Worth. So, again, if you want to see photos on the Taco Bell situation in terms of the damage, again, you can go to my Facebook page or our Twitter. Both of those are linked in the description. Yeah, I don't have complete permission to show them on stream yet, but if I do, I will make sure to give you some, or at least show you the photos here. For some reason, the guy that posted the photos also tagged Wendy's in his thing. Oh my god, I didn't even notice this. The Wendy's sign fell into the Taco Bell. That's what in the world happened over there at the Taco Bell? So the latest update again on the damage, this was, again, if you're just tuning in, I know a lot of you guys have been here for a while, but there was actually a damage to a Taco Bell in Texas, and the Wendy's sign fell into the Taco Bell. I didn't even know that. Thank you, Crystal, for subscribing. On May 9th, Cody, I don't think so. I don't think that early in May I was covering storms outside of Texas, so I don't think I did. Yeah, that's the latest update. Apparently this tornado actually, or not this tornado, the damage. Okay, I can show them on stream. Let me go and show you guys. All right, here's a look at the photos. Let's go in. I don't really have a photo view for this, but we're just gonna kind of roll with it here. Let me go over to this screen. All right, again, this is credit to Red Mage __ on Twitter. Here's a look at the damage to that Taco Bell. And apparently the Wendy's sign fell into the place. I'm not sure where it is exactly, but let's just look at kind of what we're looking at here. Let me go over to this screen. It's a little better here. I'll zoom in here. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at there. Actually, maybe this screen will work better. All right, there we go. So you can kind of see, again, Taco Bell's kind of damaged here. Let me go over to the other photos here. And this is kind of the indoor looking part of the Taco Bell. I don't know if that's a sign or that's some sort of ceiling part. You can obviously see the air conditioning unit kind of falling down here as well. A lot of debris, obviously, in the store. Again, this is at a Taco Bell in Gainesville. And this is the last photo here of the Taco Bell here. Now, I'm not sure where the Wendy's sign is completely located. I know Wendy's is right behind it. It doesn't look like Wendy's suffered any damage. Taco Bell apparently did, though. Oh, here's the Wendy's sign. You can see it here. It snapped. So the Wendy's sign, it looks like, fell directly into the store. That's probably what caused the damage. The Wendy's sign must have not been constructed well. So, yeah. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see the Wendy's sign inside the store, though. I don't see it here. Kind of looking at all the photos here. I don't see it. It must be on top of this roof here. That's what I'm assuming. It's probably up here, but that's pretty crazy. That's all I got to say. So, that's Taco Bell. That was the Taco Bell damage, again, over in Gainesville, Texas. And again, thank you. I'll go ahead and link his Twitter here in the chat, but I appreciate him sending it in. Credit to him. Red Mage, appreciate it. That is crazy, though. Wendy's social media accounts are pretty savage. We have a new tornado warning. Okay, well, that was actually crazy timing. We have a new tornado warning that just got issued. This does include areas now over in Nashville, Fredericksburg, and Shreve and Apple Creek. Again, brand new tornado warning just got issued. Let me go back over to the screen. All right, tornado warning just got issued. It does include, again, Shreve, Nashville, Millersburg, Fredericksburg, as well as Apple Creek, Mount Eaton. And this storm's moving off to the east. Again, rotation seems to be located probably right about here near Shreve. That's our area of rotation. It's moving off to the east. Here's a look at the live radar as of right now. And it's basically going to be, looks like rain wrap. So that's, again, our ongoing tornado warning just got issued. Again, our area of rotation right now is near Shreve. It's currently moving off to the east. Again, seek shelter immediately away from windows, lowest floor possible. Again, brand new tornado warning just came in. No, Michael, I can't. I wish I could. This is a pretty decent rotation on this cell. It is not, it's there. I mean, it's not completely strong. It's not tight, but it's definitely moderately strong, I'll call it. It's currently moving off to the east. Again, brand new tornado warning for Shreve just got issued. Seek shelter immediately, again, away from windows, lowest floor possible. And storm's moving off to the east. This is not Tennessee. Why are people spamming Tennessee? This is Ohio. Look at the correlation coefficient on this. I'm kind of curious. There might be a tornado on the ground. There is a pretty well-defined area here kind of showing here, at least green. That might be indicating a tornado on the ground right now. Rotation is pretty strong there. Again, there might be a little bit of debris right here near Shreve. This is currently Ohio. Again, there might be a tornado on the ground. There's no confirmation as of now, just for reference, but the rotation is pretty tight here. Let me go over to Twitter, take a look. This is near Shreve. Take a look real quick. Again, this tornado warning just got issued. Yeah, I'm not seeing any confirmation at this point, at least in terms of a tornado. It literally got issued about 3 minutes ago on Twitter. It only got issued like 2 minutes ago, pretty much. So, but the rotation's very strong here. The correlation coefficient again was showing a little bit of green. Might be representing possibly some sort of maybe weak tornado on the ground right now. Definitely can't rule it out. We got going as of right now with this cell. Again, it's moving off to the east. We'll get our next radar update here in a second, but that is pretty well defined. And it's definitely not hail because we don't really have any hail here. Pretty decent inflow as well going to the storm here. Again, this is an ongoing tornado warning for those over near Shreve, Fredericksburg, Holmesburg, all those areas included. Here's the latest radar update that just came in. Actually, no, it's not coming yet. We're getting our next radar update here in a second. Yeah, rotation's located right now near Shreve. That will update here in a second. Going toward 83. Moving off to the east. We'll get our next radar update here in a second. Let me go and circle this again. That's our rotation. Possibly is a tornado on the ground. Can't confirm it, though. This is again in Ohio. Spotters confirmed it on the ground. Is it confirmed now? Take a look. And I don't see it yet. At least confirmed. But the correlation coefficient was showing a pretty defined area. We got a tornado on the ground. This is no doubt. We definitely have a tornado on the ground right now. This is near Shreve. This is a very well-defined area of debris. I'm almost 100% sure that's a tornado. Again, we don't have any... I haven't seen anything confirmed on Twitter yet. Has anybody seen anything confirmed on Twitter of this tornado being on the ground? This looks to be very... I mean, this is clear as day when it comes to... This is a very tight rotation. This has got to be a tornado on the ground right now. This is again near Shreve. Moving off to the east. This is currently south of Cleveland. This is near Fredericksburg. Again, this is like eastern central portions right now of Ohio. But this is fairly defined in terms of debris. Very tight rotation as well along with that. We probably have a tornado on the ground right now. I'm going to go back over to Twitter, see if we have any confirmation yet of this. Seeing people are saying that there's probably a tornado on the ground here. Again, I'm not seeing anything that's been confirmed, but I'm assuming there's something on the ground here. This is a very tight rotation. Correlation coefficient, again, is picking up on debris in the same exact spot. It has to be confirmed. Has it been changed yet? Has not been changed yet. Again, it's still radar indicated, but this, I mean, this is clear as day when it comes to having debris on the ground right now. Again, this is near Shreve. This is in Ohio. Again, this is pretty far south of Cleveland. Eastern central portions of Ohio going towards Fredericksburg. You should be in your safe place immediately with this cell. I'm going to take a look if we have any live cams in the area, see if we get any information on this. It's near Fredericksburg, moving off to the east. Feel free to tweet me on Twitter if you have any confirmation of this from any storm chasers. I know that there's plenty out there right now, but I'm not entirely sure who is necessarily out there. This is also, I think this is close to Akron. This is far southwest, actually, of Akron right now. Say the name right. That's southwest of Apple Creek. Yeah, this is pretty well defined here. Let me go back to the velocities. Again, very tight rotation near Shreve. Let me zoom out a little bit, just to kind of give you a reference of where this is heading. Fredericksburg and Holmesville should be both in shelter immediately. Shreve, obviously, you should be in shelter. Apple Creek and Mount Vernon, I believe it is, or is that Mount Eaton? That's Mount Eaton. So Mount Eaton's in the track of this as well. So, again, get to your safe place. This is possibly a tornado on the ground. I'm still waiting confirmation on that. I'm 100% sure this is a tornado. This is very well radar indicated here. Just not seeing anything confirmed on Twitter here, but the day one risk, by the way, got updated. I'll get to that here pretty soon, but this is likely a tornado on the ground. All right, so we have a confirmation of a brief tornado. At least a brief tornado near Shreve, and it looks to be very clearly have been on the ground. And this is, again, the latest radar update at 8:57. Oh, 8:58. So we're getting our next radar update now. This is a very clear area of debris. So at least what I'm seeing now is at least a confirmation of a weak tornado. Here's the latest radar update. There's probably still some sort of weak tornado on the ground. At least some sort of debris being lifted up in the atmosphere with this. Latest radar scan not showing nearly as much rotation. There is still a little bit of debris here, though. So again, we have at least some sort of confirmation of this tornado. Yeah, that's what we, again, looks like we have at least confirmation of a weak tornado here. It was a very well-defined area just a second ago. Okay, so yeah, okay, so we got confirmation. Tornadoes has been on the ground. Yeah, it was on radar confirmed, so I was kind of assuming that we at least had something there. So yeah, again, we have confirmation that there's been a tornado on the ground with this storm. Again, it's heading towards Fredericksburg right now. Debris is still there just east of Shreve. The latest radar scan's not nearly showing nearly as much in terms of velocities. Again, here's a look at your radar as of right now. That's where the rotation was. It was at least a brief tornado. Tornado warning still ongoing until 9:30 Eastern time. Might still be something there. We still obviously have some debris in the atmosphere, so still stay in shelter. That green is representing a little bit of debris there. Again, moving off to the east. This has been confirmed as a tornado. If you have any sort of confirmation, if you have any photos, videos, anything like that, tweet me on Twitter, send them into our Discord server or Facebook. All those links are in the description below. So again, as of what we know, there's been a tornado on the ground. Also, a new tornado warning up in Canada. As of what we know, again, this is the debris. If you're just tuning in, this is the correlation coefficient. This is clearly some debris right now still in the atmosphere. Latest scan did definitely show a tornado on the ground. Again, we'll go back in a few scans if this does start to weaken out a little bit more. And our next radar update should be coming in here momentarily. Again, velocity is not nearly as strong. Here's a look at the velocities higher up, though. There's still probably still a funnel cloud or something like that up there. And that's where your tornado is possibly still on the ground. Again, we had a confirmation of a tornado with this. Correlation coefficient, again, is still showing potentially some debris right there, just east of Shreve. Yeah, I mean, I was 100% positive there was a tornado. I just didn't know if we had confirmation on this. Again, radar sites are not necessarily that close, but that was very well defined. Again, velocities and correlation coefficient were matching up perfectly, so makes a lot of sense that we definitely had a tornado with this. We're going to next radar update here in a second. This is a look at it from a scan ago, just for reference, if you're just tuning in. This is a look at it from Shreve. Very tight rotation there. Now, if we go to the correlation coefficient at the same exact time, the correlation coefficient doesn't want to cooperate, apparently. Doesn't want to cooperate at all. All right, we're going to have to do this real quick. And let's go to the correlation coefficient. Again, this was about a scan ago. This is what it looked like before. So when we see this little sort of, again, when the velocities are tight like this, and we also see something like this, a very defined circle like that, that usually defines a radar indicated tornado. So it looks like we had some sort of tornado with this. And obviously, it's been confirmed at this point. We've had a brief tornado with this near Shreve. Now, the latest radar updates obviously are showing that we're looking to see a little bit more of a weakening with this. The latest scans. This is the latest radar scan that is about to come in. It just came in. So this is the latest radar update. Again, looks like more of a damaging wind threat now, but let's go back to the velocities. And here's a look at the latest radar update at 9:02. Next one should be coming in here in a second, though, for the 9:06 update. I'll be coming in here in just a moment. Again, this has at least been a confirmed tornado. Heading off to the east again, near Frederick, though. Here's a look at the live radar again. Tornado warning still ongoing for the next several minutes. Is it still buffering? Literally just started my live stream again. All right, we're back. I think. Apologies about the buffering, but we should be back now. Yeah, this is the tornado warning ongoing. The warning expires again in 22 minutes, but we might get this canceled sooner, but... is it back? Somebody confirm. Is it back? Okay, it's good. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. I don't know why that happens like 2 hours into... I'll have to fix that, but it happens into the live stream like every 2 to 3 hours. I don't know why, but... Alright, but again, this is the ongoing tornado warning. I don't know if you guys saw the correlation coefficient in the scans before. Did you guys see that? Or was that one that was buffering? Again, this is the ongoing tornado warning near Millersburg. Going towards Beach City, by the way. So Beach City, again, damaging winds up to 60 will be the main threats as well as this moves off to the east. You packet loss? Might be. Alright, you saw it. Okay, thank you. Okay, so... Oh, so we actually have a time lapse that just came in of the tornado warning storm. I can't show this, but I'm going to look at it real quick, see if we have anything. But we have at least, again, we've had a confirmed tornado with this. And the winds were very strong. It's hard to see if there was a tornado from the time lapse over in Perrysville, but there was definitely some very high winds. But there was definitely a tornado, obviously. It was confirmed by radar, so just for reference. Power back on, good to hear. Yeah, this tornado warning is still ongoing for another 21 minutes unless otherwise canceled. But the velocities in the latest scans have definitely weakened a bit. We definitely could see this recycle. Again, this is a tornado warning cell that went through areas over in over to the radar here, over in Mansfield not too long ago. So it definitely could recycle. But the it looks to be high winds now in the latest scans. So that's what we're seeing at this point. Probably some high damaging winds moving off to the east. Go to the tornado warning here and then go to reflectivity. Again, here's a look at the storm as of right now. Pushing off to the southeast. I'll put a track on this here in a second as well. Jennifer, this is Ohio. I'm going to be fixed again for those that are tuning in and don't know what the state is. I will be putting something on the screen that says what state we're in from now on pretty soon. Working on making that. All right, let me put a track on this. I did not need to do that. Let's go put a track on this though. Give you an idea of where the setting. Again, this tornado warning storm is moving 30 miles per hour off to the east. It will be going towards Ohio. And tornado threat probably won't last that long, but you never know. Here's a look at the track as of right now over the next little bit. So all the town and city names on the left side of your screen. So Brewster 927, Strasburg 939, Perry Heights 939, Canton 949, Dover 949, New Philadelphia 953, Denison right around 1011, as well as Carrollton 1023, and Lisbon right around 1052. That's your timing again as the storm moves off to the east. Again, tornado warning storm is still ongoing for another 20 minutes. And just for a heads up, by the way, there are no longer any severe thunderstorm warnings in the southern plains. I have not updated this warning counter, I just realized, for a while. Let me go and change this. See how many warnings we got right now. We got 6. So we're down to 6 severe thunderstorm warnings still. 1 tornado warning. Apple Creek mainly going to be winds, it looks like. The tornado warned portion of the storm is down to your south. Let me go back over and take the track off. And here's a look at the velocities again. And it looks like it's weakening out, which is very good news. We might get this morning may get canceled, but we'll see. Morning warning still ongoing though for another 19 minutes otherwise. And we had confirmation of a brief tornado with this storm not too long ago. So just for reference, we've at least had a tornado with this at some point. If you're new here, make sure to join our Discord server. I'm going to link it in the chat. Nightbot will link it. Again, we have photos and videos on there as well of damage from a Taco Bell over in Gainesville, Texas. And that has obviously been kind of out there at this point, but we again had damage reports over that direction. A storm that went through that area. Again, a Wendy's sign collapsed into a Taco Bell. That's what ended up happening. Here's a look at the storm though as of right now. Rotation seems to be really weakened at this point. Not seeing a whole lot in terms of a tightening, but we definitely, still have a chance for this to recycle at some point down the road, just for reference. But definitely a lot of rain out of this. A lot of heavy rain right now. Welcome back, runway. Yeah, if you know anybody in this tornado warning, just make sure they're in shelter away from windows. Again, ongoing rotations really weakened in the latest scans, but could very well redevelop later on. So we're still going to watch it pretty closely. After the stream, by the way, I will be figuring out these buffering issues and stuff because they do occasionally happen. It's very bad that happened in between in the middle of a tornado warning, but Walnut Creek sirens are going off for the 3rd time. Where's Walnut Creek at? Is that in the is it in the tornado warning or is that outside of it? When will North Texas get rain? There is a possibility again tomorrow and Friday. Again, go to our Facebook page for the latest information on that. If you don't have Facebook, you can also go to Instagram. We have that's exclusively North Texas, so be able to find the latest information on that. We have a little bit of hail possibly, by the way, near Kilbuck in Millersburg. There's a little bit possibly maybe some half-inch sized hail down this direction, so something to kind of note. And those storms are currently moving off to the east, just for reference. An ongoing tornado warning for another 17 minutes unless otherwise canceled, but the rotation, as I mentioned before, has weakened out for the most part. Could definitely recycle, though, as it moves off to the east. All right, fix that. Again, we have photos on Facebook, Twitter, and on our Discord server of that Taco Bell damage. I'll go and re-show it here in a little bit as well. So I'll show it back on stream here in a bit. It's not showing up on my right counter. Yeah, it is. It's not at the bottom. Bottom right. Storm going towards Youngstown. Which Youngstown are you talking about? Severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, is going to expire here in about 35 seconds. I would assume we get a new one and possibly replacing this tornado warning, but we'll see. Yeah, if you're just tuning in for the first time, make sure to hit the like button. We are 26 likes from 500. And if you are also new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I would appreciate it. We are 10 subscribers from 10 or 11,100. Everybody tuning in as always. We do live streams again like this all the time. Thunderstorm in progress near Gainesville, Georgia. Thank you for the report, Arlen. I'll take a look at it here pretty soon. Linda with the $50 super chat. Oh my goodness. That is a huge donation from Linda. Hey, I appreciate that a lot, Linda. I really appreciate your support. And that's an extremely generous donation. Thank you very much. I really, truly do appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Thank you again for that $50 super chat. That's incredible. I appreciate that a lot, Linda. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the live streams as well. Sirens went off in Apple Creek. Thank you, Chloe, for the report. Everybody get some claps in the chat for Linda. That is a very nice donation. I appreciate that a lot. Again, thank you. Very generous of you. Third time today. What were we talking about? Oh, in Gainesville. Okay, third storm down that direction for you. I'm assuming this tornado warning will likely get canceled, but we haven't had any update on the tornado warning yet. Is the rotation getting any stronger? From what I know, I'm not seeing anything that's strengthening. As of right now, it looks to be more straight line winds. It shows a little bit tighter on this side, but that's mainly winds. Currently moving off to the east. Again, rotation's weakened for the most part. Yeah, use the clap emoji in the chat for Linda. Appreciate that a lot again, Linda. Really do appreciate that. Very, very generous of you. Tomorrow looks interesting. I probably will go live for the severe weather tomorrow as well. That will be in New England. All right, severe weather thunderstorm warning has expired. Let me go and take off a couple of warnings here. We're down to 4 severe thunderstorm warnings. And I think I just went -1 on the tornado warnings, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I guess I didn't change it at all. Let me go over here. Right, there we go. Down to... Wait, no, we're actually down to... Okay, I was actually in the right thing. There we go. 4 severe thunderstorm warnings. Looks pretty tight to you. It's not. It's actually not tight. Again, tornado warning actually just got condensed, by the way. Still ongoing, but it's condensed. The overall rotation, there's a little bit here, but it's not really rotation. It's more of that leading edge of some damaging winds. See if I can go to the other radar site. There's one out in front of this. Might show us a bit better of an angle if there's rotation. Over in Pittsburgh. We got a little more of a radar angle from here. There is actually still some rotation on this. There's a little bit up here near Fredericksburg and just southwest of Mount Eaton. So there's still a little bit, but it's really embedded in that area of rain right now. So there's still a little bit of rain wrap, maybe rotation, but it seems to be fairly minimal at this point. I mean, that's just one radar angle. I'm seeing a lot of broad rotation, though, across the board in terms of this tornado warning cell now. Thank you, Ray, for subscribing. Appreciate it, as well as Carol. Thanks, sir. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't have staff. I'm not a person that has staff here. All right, let me back over to the, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued. This does include Strasburg, Mineral City, as well as New Philadelphia, Baltic, Port Washington, and a lot of those areas are included. Again, damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, and as well as quarter-sized hail. So this is actually our first warning, I think, up here of the day that's actually had a hail threat in the Ohio Valley. So we're now up to quarter-sized hail on this storm. So we might see a little bit of maybe some damaging hail here to maybe some vehicles. Also includes Dover, Denison, Sugar Creek, and Bolivar, and Midvale, and Mineral City. Those areas are all included, again, in this new severe thunderstorm warning for damaging winds up to 60 and maybe some quarter-sized hail. Top of New Jersey probably won't see a whole lot tomorrow. Be pretty minimal. Thank you, Gabe, for sending those photos, by the way. Appreciate it. A lot. All right, new angle of the Taco Bell sign. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and show some photos. Again, this is from the Taco Bell that got damaged earlier. As I kind of mentioned before, let me go over to the screen here. Actually, no, I'm going to do it after the tornado warning. After the tornado warning gets lifted, I'll go ahead and show you the damage to that Taco Bell. Again, stay tuned for that. There was a Taco Bell that was completely damaged over in Gainesville. So we'll have the photos on that. We have a new angle and a photo as well, so we'll get to that here in a second as well. All right, let me go back over here to the velocities again, just real quick. I'm not seeing anything that's that tight, mainly downburst winds at this point. Obviously, it shows some mixing there, but it's primarily just downburst winds. Again, from the radar angle that we're looking at, it looks like rotation, but it's not. Let me take a look if we still have that tornado warning ongoing. I'm guessing it's going to be ongoing until we have, because I don't think they're going to issue a new severe thunderstorm warning on this. It's mainly 60-mile-per-hour winds, but see what happens. So yeah, that's again moving toward Beach City and Strasburg. The warning may be a little bit further to the north. There should be a severe thunderstorm warning kind of in here, but overall, again, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail being the main threats. Quarter-sized hail threat is down near Millersburg for reference. East of Apple Creek. Apple Creek is fine. You're fine up that direction. The ongoing rotation is currently south of Mount Eaton for reference. So we're looking at it right now. But ongoing rotation is very weak in comparison to before. Again, we had a tornado confirmed with this storm. In terms of, we had a few spotters report it and confirm a tornado. So we've had confirmation of a tornado with this prior. Again, as of now, there's no tornado on the ground from what we know. Rotations remain pretty broad. Over the radar again. Definitely a lot of rain though, and obviously the hail threat has increased here near Millersburg. That might be again a quarter-sized hail. Let's go over here. I don't know if they canceled it. Oh, tornado warning is still ongoing. They have not canceled it. Oh, still ongoing. No problem, Libby. And Kentucky, yeah, there will be some potential for some severe weather tonight in Kentucky too. The storm might be becoming outflow dominant. It might be. It's kind of hard to determine that though from this radar angle, but I don't think it is. But the storm still has a potential to be rotating later on too. I mean, this is kind of what happened to the tornado warned storm over in Mansfield earlier, and then eventually redeveloped obviously into a tornado warned storm like this. So it's definitely possible that we see something like that. I do appreciate everybody following us over on Twitter tonight, as well as joining our Discord server. Again, you can check those out with the links in the description below. You can also do exclamation point socials in the chat, and it links you to everything. But let me go back over to, again, we'll be showing you the damaged Taco Bell here in a moment once this tornado warning gets lifted. So stay tuned for that. We have photos of that. Kind of showed them on stream for you. If you want to check those photos out now, you can also go to our Facebook page. Is the Pittsburgh radar showing any better rotation? From what I looked at, not really. The rotation is pretty much the same on both parts of the storm. The rotation from the Pittsburgh radar shows it up here, but if you look at this radar here, back over to the velocities, there's very broad rotation up there. So that's near 241. It's pretty broad. That's probably the area where we might see some sort of development, but over the next few minutes, I think it's going to weaken out in terms of the wind, at least in terms of the velocities. But yeah, if you're just tuning in, this did have a tornado back over near Shreve. So it was a confirmed tornado not too long ago over here near Shreve. And yeah, good point, Cody. It very well probably could recycle as it moves off to the east too. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado warning is going to get replaced, it looks like, without a doubt. And as I kind of mentioned before, we should have a severe thunderstorm warning here. They issued one. So that's for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Maybe a little bit of hail under the size of pennies. But overall, there's still a tornado possible label on this. So that's going to be something to still watch pretty closely. We also have a new warning that got issued for Kilbuck, as well as Walnut Creek, Brewster. Those areas all included for the potential for up to 60-mile-per-hour winds. And that also is a tornado possible label. So we'll still have to watch this pretty closely because it does have still a little bit of rotation. But yeah, I think this tornado warning is going to be let to expire here in a second, if it has not already. Which, let me take a look if it has been updated yet. And the tornado warning is still ongoing, but it should be canceled, I assume, in a minute. But we'll take a look. Again, if you're just tuning in and you want to see the damage pictures from Gainesville, Texas, of the Taco Bell, I'm going to be showing that here in a second. So stay tuned. We have a new photo that just came in too for it. Yes, this does have a tornado possible label, so we're still going to watch this for rotation, but the overall storm has moved out of the area. All right, I'm going to go ahead and say that this tornado warning is probably going to be canceled here. So the rotation now is outside of the area. Let me go ahead and put this back to the live radar here. Let's go back to the live radar. Let's go over to here, and let's hop over to those photos I was talking about, because we do have damage photos from the Taco Bell. Here's a look at that Taco Bell that got damaged over in Gainesville. Again, the photos are going to be kind of slanted for you, but that's really the best we can do at this point. But this is what we're looking at in terms of the damage over in the Gainesville, Texas region. A Taco Bell was damaged. Again, this is what caused the damage, was the sign being bent over. That's the Wendy's sign, by the way. So that Wendy's sign kind of collapsed into the building. Here's a look at the damage inside of the building. So we're looking at very significant damage overall. I mean, you can just very clearly see the AC unit up here kind of collapsing. We got a roof kind of collapsing in here, a bunch of chairs and stuff like that broken into as well. Just a whole lot of damage inside the store. And obviously this is not a day's work of repair. This can be possibly weeks. And also looking more inside of the store, hopefully nobody was injured, by the way, because this is serious damage. And honestly, this probably happened within a couple of seconds. So this is not damage that just happens and you can get prepared for it really quickly. I don't know if there's anybody in this Taco Bell place, but obviously very significant damage. You can see the roof just collapsing down though, and again the sign is likely up here somewhere. We just don't know where, but it's kind of up there. It looks like a bit more zoomed out here, but that's what we got there. Now we also have a new photo that just came in. Let me go and find it, of the Taco Bell damage. All right, let me go over and open this here. Here's a look at the other damage. So this is a look at the Taco Bell sign going into the store, or the Wendy's sign going into the store. Also see an AC unit right there. That's what we're looking at in terms of the damage. So yeah, that is the Taco Bell that got pretty much completely destroyed. Not completely, but obviously suffered pretty significant damage there. So yeah, and again, credit to Red Mage and for those photos. I appreciate it. You gave me credit, or let me, put those photos out on here for you guys to see. So there was, again, some significant damage to that Taco Bell. Again, if you're just tuning in, make sure to the like button, subscribe down below. I would appreciate it. Again, we do live streams like this all the time. We're on the road to 11,200 subscribers, so I would appreciate it. Yeah, we still got this tornado warning ongoing. I think it got canceled, though, if I'm not mistaken. It's still ongoing for a couple more minutes, but yeah, I'm going to keep it on the severe thunderstorm warning label, because the tornado warning will likely be either canceled or being expired. Again, there's still a tornado possible label on this area. There's still a little bit of rotation, but it's pretty broad at this point. Again, up near Beach City, it seems like our main area of maybe a little bit of rotation. Overall, though, it's still pretty broad, but we'll have to watch it closely. It very well could redevelop. Again, Linda, if you're still here, I don't know if you are, but again, I really do appreciate your $50 super chat from earlier. Very big commitment. I do really appreciate that again. Yeah, Taco Bell damage was insane. That's all I gotta say. Really insane damage. All right, just looking at the rest of the United States real quick. We got a couple of storms up in South Dakota. Not gonna really pay attention too much to them, but if they have any sort of crazy developments, we'll keep an eye on them. Real quick, I haven't taken a break this entire stream. We've been going for 2 hours. I'm gonna take a real quick break. I'll be back in about 45 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Make sure to stay tuned. Subscribe and like. We'll be back. While I take a quick 30 to 45 second break, I'd like to remind you to hit that like button down below. It really helps our page out a lot. Also, if you have not already, make sure to hit that red subscribe button down below. It'll give you our latest forecasts and live streams here on our YouTube channel. Also, make sure to hit that little bell icon to the right and click all so you get notified on when those live streams and videos come out. And if you'd like to support our page above and beyond, click the first link in the description. It'll redirect you to a membership page. For as little as $2.99 per month, you can become a member on our YouTube channel, which includes exclusive forecasts, and as well as a chat badge in both the live streams and comment section, and some emojis to go along with it, which you can use in live streams and as well as in our comment section. I'll also give you a shout out here on stream. We'll be back in about 15 to 20 seconds. All right, we're back. Appreciate everybody staying tuned. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the chat as well. All right, let's see. You think there'll be big hail near Sugar Creek, Ohio? The threat right now for this warning is quarter-sized hail. So, I mean, there's a possibility the hail core right now is near Millersburg. Kind of see these pinks, that's representing some hail potential, so there very well could be a possibility that if that goes toward your direction, it's kind of going east-southeast, it may give you a little bit of hail, so definitely something to watch. Again, some quarter-sized hail possible there. No problem, Robert. Yeah, I'll definitely go back to South Dakota here in a second, too. We got a couple of warnings up that direction. Hey, Defender. Hey, Wilson, how you doing? You think the severe weather will be bad for the Central Plains on Friday, or is it more an isolated severe weather event? It should be pretty isolated on Friday. It'll be marginal. So, marginal threat, usually isolated severe weather. There might be a little bit more scattered to numerous storm activity, though. I'll have a bit more of a information on that. Yes, this tornado warning did expire. That's why it's not on my screen anymore. It still shows for a few more seconds, but it's not a big deal. Tornado warning, again, has expired. I don't think it's been canceled. I think it's just gonna be expiring here. No, actually, it has been. It's been allowed to expire. So, just the latest update on that. Again, there's still a tornado possible label on this. We might see some rotation down the road, as I mentioned before. We'll have to still watch the storm pretty closely. I mean, it's gonna be moved off to the east. It is in portions of eastern Ohio now. It'll be moving towards, you know, Pittsburgh pretty soon. New Philadelphia is gonna be getting hit by the storm here pretty soon too. So, some notable areas are in the track of this over the next several minutes. What about Georgia tomorrow? There is a slight risk. Again, if you want more information on tomorrow's severe weather event, check out our latest forecast. That gives you all the details that you need to know in terms of severe weather for both tomorrow, Saturday, and tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. I don't know why I think we're on Thursday right now, but we're not. All right. If you want to see the photos again of the Taco Bell, they're on our Facebook page. You can share them. We have a lot of photos coming in. There's some crazy. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna read the comments here on our stream, but there are on the Facebook post. If you click the link in the description, there are some just, you know, there's pretty bad damage to talk about and whatnot, but not really something to joke about. There's some people joking about it. It's kind of bad. Any rain in Oklahoma? We're burning up here. Possibly tonight, if not maybe tomorrow in southern Oklahoma, far southern. There will be a possibility again, possibly mid next week. So stay tuned. More forecast on that probably tomorrow as well. Hey, Ohio, as well as official and Janet for subscribing. I appreciate it, guys. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. We also appreciate you guys all subscribing. And yeah, we've officially hit 11,101 subscribers. That is a really strange number. A bunch of ones. Thank you, Lovely, for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that, Lovely. There's been severe thunderstorm watches in Northeast Ohio, Youngstown. Could share your thoughts on what you think will happen there? Yeah, sure. Overall, the storms have remained pretty minimal. There's still a couple of storms up that direction. I'm not seeing anything severe right now. If you're anywhere back to the west, let's just say this line, I'm not sure where you are, but if you're west of this line, you're probably done for tonight. I'm not expecting any severe weather. There might be an isolated severe storm or two, though, mixed in here as they move off to the east and east-northeast, going toward areas like Edinboro and Greenville and Meadville, those areas. So definitely a possibility that we see something there. But overall, severe threat should be staying pretty low there. By the way, we do have damage reports coming in. This is from Shreve. This is where the tornado possibly happened. Tree downed on road just south of Shreve in northern Holmes County. So that was at 8:57 Eastern time. That was when that tornado probably went through the location. Again, we had a confirmation of at least a radar confirmed tornado, it looked like at the time, over in Shreve. So we at least had something brief in that location. So again, we had some damage reports there, just for reference. And again, we saw the tornado possible label on this ongoing severe thunderstorm warning. So we'll have to still watch for some rotation with this as it moves down to the east-southeast. But again, I do appreciate Lovely for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it. No problem at all. Thanks, Kim. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Niagara Falls is going to be 95 tomorrow. Really? $95. That's hot. There's going to be a little bit of a cool down, though, going into next week. Yeah, more details on that in our next video forecast. If you want to have more information on that, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I don't know if you're still here, Defender, but that's a pretty cool photo. Nice drawing. Looking forward to the break from the heat tomorrow. There will be a small break down in Texas tomorrow. And I don't know, bug flying around me, but down in southern Kansas. So our next, Southern Plains down in Texas. So North Texas specifically will be dropping from like the 110 range down to maybe upper 90s, most likely, for the highs tomorrow. So a little bit of a break. Hey, Ro, how you doing? We had a confirmed radar tornado. I don't know if you've been here since, I don't know when you were here last, but we did have a confirmed tornado back in Shreve. At least in terms of radar indicated. There was debris in the atmosphere on that. Go to the velocities. We have a little bit of a, this storm over here has a little bit of rotation, looks like, trying to develop. It's mainly hail right now, but that might develop into something. Back up here to the north. Still mainly winds. We'll have to watch this still pretty closely. Let me go over to the Pittsburgh radar. We're starting to get a little bit closer to that one. And not a whole lot. I'm not seeing a whole lot in terms of velocities from this radar angle, but this will be an area to watch. Again, this is the area where we have some hail ongoing just to the west of Sugar Creek. That is probably right around quarter size for reference. So we're definitely looking at a little bit of hail as that moves off to the east. I'm actually going to stay put with the radar side up there. Make it a little bit easier. A little sad that I'm excited about the upper 90s and low 100s. Honestly, if I were still in Texas, I would be extremely excited about that. Because honestly, you know, getting a break like that, it's just being from 110 down to 100 is a pretty big difference. And I bet a lot of those people in North Texas have felt it too. Hey, Obia, how you doing? Something got updated here. I don't know what got updated. Maybe I think the severe thunderstorm watch just got updated. About it. Got a special weather statement down here. We also have a warning up here, by the way. This is over in South Dakota. I'll go to this real quick. This is a considerable threat. Look at this cell. Whoa. It's a pretty impressive looking hail core. This is for golf ball sized hail and damaging winds around 60, going toward Corona as well as Millbank, Twin Brooks, Ortonville, those areas in the track. Wilmot over the area right now. So as of now, this is a very severe storm moving down to the southeast. This is, again, golf ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds up in northeastern South Dakota. So impressive storm there. Starting to see some severe thunderstorm warnings in central Kentucky. I'll take a look at those here in a second as well. We got a lot more warnings starting to come in now. We got 4 severe thunderstorm warnings though ongoing. I think that's updated. I need to update that to 4. There we go. Thank you, Percy, Christopher, Lindsay, as well as Avon for subscribing. I appreciate it, guys. Welcome. Yeah, this is a pretty impressive storm here. I mean, this is a very impressive looking hail core right now near 109. Go over the hail radar. Let's take a look. Look at that hail. And yeah, the reds again indicating that potential for some hail. Looks like right around golf ball size. Very well estimated by radar. Probably right around that. Possibly up as high as almost 2 inches in terms of diameter. So definitely an impressive storm here over in Wilmot, Wilmot as well as Corona. Now we're looking as right now. Pretty defined hail core here. Get this off. There we go. Radar indicated, by the way. Radar indicated threats. Dude, why do storms go around you in Wichita Falls? It really depends on the setup. Sheila? Is it Sheila? I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but it really depends on the setup. Today's setup was more of an outflow boundary, so it can be really random. We've had at least one tornado. That was over in Shreve from not that long ago. We were actually live for it, so thank you, Ovi. I appreciate it. I got a few messages here on Facebook. A lot of messages here on Facebook. Okay, let me go back over here. No problem. What? Okay. So again, this is the storm over in South Dakota, but pretty impressive storm. I'll definitely go back to it again. That's moving down to the southeast, so definitely keep an eye on that. We got a new warning that just got issued over in far southern portions of Illinois. This is 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. That's moving down to the southeast. Wilmot is over in South Dakota. And this is moving down to the southeast. So Olmsted and Mounds are in the track of this. And Sniper Boy, the only way you can get gifted memberships is if somebody gifts them, which you have to be a member to actually gift memberships here on the YouTube channel. So, and it's at random, by the way. There's no specific gifting at this point on YouTube, but there probably will be pretty soon, but I don't know when that will be. Yeah, gifting memberships, obviously, if you guys ever if you want to donate sometime or something like that, I recommend either, obviously, super chatting. If you want to super chat, and if you're a member, for example, just gift subs instead, because it's actually more beneficial. Obviously, it gives people memberships and it gives them benefits and whatnot here on our YouTube page. So, just for reference. Like, if you want to become a member, it's the top link in the description. Helps our page out a lot. Was the tornado rated? They don't get graded until the following day in most instances. So, we won't know until tomorrow, but I would assume probably like an EFC or EF1. I wouldn't expect that was anything too crazy. And this is where our potential for some quarter-sized hail exists right now. That's west of Sugar Creek. We'll keep a close eye on this one. gifted a sub Twitch on the other day and it went to Stream Elements. Yeah, on Twitch you can gift memberships to specific people, but on YouTube it's just at random at this point. But it's not completely at random. Gifted memberships actually go to people that have been chatting the most, or been most interactive, or been having the high watcher time. That's who gets favored to get gifted memberships. So just for reference, if anybody ever does, the only time we ever had gifted memberships was on one single stream. We had 10 gifted that one time, but that was about a week ago at least. Maybe a couple of weeks ago. I'm doing good. Oh yeah, how you doing today? Hey Katie, how you doing? I don't know where Watertown is. You're gonna have to give me a state for that. Hey ZMD, how you doing? Welcome back. Seems like the storms are weakening. They look like they're weakening, but man, I'm telling you, these have not really weakened. I mean, again, this storm looked like the same thing it was over in where was it again? Mansfield, that's what it was. And yeah, I mean, this storm's looked the same back in Mansfield, and it produced, you know, a tornado. I've had a couple of tornado warnings, and we just literally had a tornado with this cell only about maybe 30 minutes ago over in Shreve. So, I mean, it looks like it's weakening, but overall, it's actually maintained its composure at this point. It's remained pretty strong, remained pretty organized. Well, it hasn't really been organized, but it's been all over the place in terms of organization at this point. Any storm potential for Oregon? I have no clue. I don't think so, though. At least in terms of severe weather, there's not. I have not looked at Oregon weather at all, or Oregon weather at all. Like, ever. Usually there's not a whole lot of severe weather there. But I don't think you're going to see much. But yeah, today there's nothing, so. You're totally fine. No problem at all. Let me zoom back out. Again, this is our one morning as of right now. We'll keep a close eye on it. We got, again, one over here in southern Illinois, as I mentioned before. 60-mile-per-hour winds. Again, quarter-sized tail. Here's a look at the velocities real quick, just for reference. We have a little bit of rotation, actually, here. It's pretty broad, but we do have a little bit trying to develop there. It's on the, actually, northwestern part of the storm, almost, near Tam. So we'll have to watch that closely. A little bit of rotation. Nothing too crazy, but something to watch. Again, that's moving down to the southeast as of right now. And let's go back up here real quick. Actually had some damage reports, or wind reports, but a 66-mile-per-hour report up in Roberts County, South Dakota. It's at the airport. We also had a 60-mile-per-hour report over in, I'm not even going to pronounce the name, otherwise I'm going to butcher it. Also at Lake City, there was also a 60-mile-per-hour report, also some quarter-sized hailstones. So this storm, again, is warned for golf ball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. It has been a pretty impressive storm. It's going toward Millbank. Again, this is an area with a marginal risk of severe weather, so it is moving down to the southeast. It'll eventually go toward Madison. Let me put a track on this for you, for those that might be over in South Dakota or Minnesota. This will actually go into Minnesota, so just reference. But here's a look at the places on the left side of your screen. Again, this is the projected track as well as the timing. So Millbank 9:51. This is, by the way, Eastern time, so subtract an hour. Most of these people I think are in Central. Big Stone City 9:51. Ortonville right around 9:51. Appleton 10:16. Madison 10:23. Dawson 10:35. Clarkfield 10:55. Granite Falls 11:04. Cottonwood 11:14. Sacred Heart right around 11:14, and Renville same time, 11:20 or 11:21 actually. That's not the same time. That's what we got going in this storm. Again, golf ball sized tail and 60-mile-per-hour winds possible with this one as it moves down to the southeast. Going through Corona, by the way, right now. I've been getting crushed the last 2 months. It's pretty typical during this time of the year, though. It's not out of the ordinary that you see some storms during this time of the year. Severe weather's a bit more prominent this time of the year than anything. Storms have actually been pretty impressive, though. This still has had a little bit of rotation. Pretty broad, but there's a little bit of rotation up here near Tams. Yeah, this is in southern portions of Illinois. We'll have to watch this storm pretty closely. It is pretty discreet. It's not very common that we ever see rotation, you know, this far up to the northwest of a storm, but it has that kind of hook shape. Obviously, the storm clouds are going down here to the south east. When is Illinois going to be hit? If you're going to hit, it's probably going to be down here in southern Illinois, and that'll probably be over the next few hours. Yeah, the storm over here in southern Illinois is looking pretty decent right now. A little bit of shape to it. Look at the velocities. Again, nothing too crazy, but there was a little bit of broad rotation here. You kind of see it. There's a much better view at it. It's a little bit of broad rotation. Nothing tight, nothing that I'm concerned about, at least right now. Could develop, though. You never know. In this sort of environment where it is right now, it's going to be hard to develop, but definitely can't rule it out. Go a little bit higher up in the atmosphere here. Actually, it's a lot more rotation the higher up you go here. I mean, if you're like higher up, there might actually be some sort of rotation a little bit higher up in the atmosphere, maybe some sort of wall cloud or something. It's hard to determine that, though. I don't think any storm chasers are down here in southern Illinois, but never know. A little bit of rotation there, though. Someone mentioned Corona. Don't mind if I do. I'm not giving you any free beer. Thank you, Mello, as well as BME for subscribing. I appreciate it, guys. Welcome. Really, Scorpion. That's interesting. Is Wisconsin getting any storms? Not today. There will be a possibility, though, on Saturday. Severe weather does return to Wisconsin on Saturday. Again, all to the Midwest, actually. So make sure to check out my latest video again for details on that. Has all the details and timing and all that sort of jazz. Yeah, the mesoscale analysis isn't always accurate, but there is definitely rotation here. There's definitely some rotation. Closer to the... It's in the higher levels more than anything. You go over to the TVS here. I'll put it on, but yeah, you can kind of see. It has a little bit of rotation. A little bit. We'll have to watch it still pretty closely. But yeah, overall, rotation near the surface is pretty broad still. It has a possibility, though. It has a pretty decent looking hook to it right now. Near Tams. I will check out the storms in Ohio, too, here in a second. We'll see what the next radar update shows. But as of right now, the storms down over in Ohio seem to be primarily... Looks like they're weakening a little bit. They're still producing maybe some damaging winds, but tornado threat is probably going down with those storms. But we'll still watch... I'm going to watch this one pretty closely. This one has a bit of rotation. We'll have to watch this one pretty closely. What's it looking like in Massachusetts? You won't see any storms until tomorrow, so... at least in terms of severe weather. So, again, if you want more information on tomorrow's severe weather event, I have a full timing guide on our latest video. All you gotta do is click my channel name, and you can watch our latest video. It has all the details for you on timing for New England. What to expect. But the main severe weather potential should stay north of Massachusetts. Can't rely on an isolated storm there. That's potentially severe, but I think most of it will stay to the north. Yeah, oh yeah, it's pretty low. And the percentage has been very accurate, by the way. Been very, very accurate to what it's actually transpired. Let's go back up here real quick to Ohio, then we'll go back down over to southern Illinois. Here's a look at the severe weather, though, up this direction. Here's a look at the live radar feed. Go back over here. Look at the live radar. This New Philadelphia. Again, these storms still have a tornado possible label on them. I think it's mainly damaging winds, though, at this point. Still have a little bit of quarter-size hail possibly here near Baltic. That's just northwest of Baltic for reference. The storm's again moving down to the southeast now. It's starting to change a bit direction. Velocities, again, some damaging winds on the front line of the storm, but overall it's primarily damaging winds. Not a whole lot of rotation here. Watch it still pretty closely. But this cell down over here has had a pretty impressive looking area of rotation. Let's look at it now. Take a look at the velocities. And the latest radar scan maybe a little bit broader. And pretty broad, obviously, but let's take a look at it. Yeah, broad rotation near the surface. Again, if you're a little bit higher up, there's a bit more rotation there. But overall, it's remaining pretty broad. So we'll have to watch it, though. It's pretty interesting. It's a very decent, I mean, it's a very decent looking cell for what it is, though. And it is discrete, by the way, so it does have an opportunity to develop. But again, the storm motion right now, in terms of the clouds at least, they're moving down to the southeast. All the rain you can kind of see there's the clouds are drifting down to the southeast. Our low pressure system, by the way, is way up to the north. So obviously, when we start to see, just for reference, I'm going to kind of draw something out here. Let's look at the United States and whatnot. The cold front right now is all the way dragging down this direction. And we basically have winds going this direction. That's pushing those clouds down to the southeast. In reference for these storms, they're more going to the east. Now, back up here, the low pressure system is way up into Canada, or yeah, somewhere in Canada. So that's kind of what we got for a setup right now. Yeah, this cell, obviously, the rain is pretty much, the clouds and whatnot are all moving down this direction, which is probably going to hinder the overall chance of this even developing into any sort of crazy rotation. But it is pretty interesting that's even rotating to the magnitude it is right now. Hey, Daniel, how you doing? Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. In Walnut Creek, there's almost no winds at all. Is that in the severe thunderstorm warning up here? The winds didn't seem that impressive from the Pittsburgh radar view. It seemed to primarily just be rain. I didn't see a whole lot of severe weather with this when I looked. Can't remember where Walnut Creek is. Somewhere over here, I think, but Overall, the main threat with this damaging winds up to 60, but I'm not even seeing that. It's still warned for quarter-sized hail. That's still 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. It's currently a slight risk. Again, more information is on our latest forecast. Make sure to check that out. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Ohio's just seeing a big cluster of storms at this point. Only severe storms right now near New Philadelphia. But overall, main threat's going to be damaging winds up to 65 through the rest of this evening. Anywhere back off to the north or west of these storms is pretty much clear for tonight. That means anywhere north of Delaware, west of Delaware, anywhere around Cleveland, you're done for tonight. Other than this one little isolated shower that just developed. Other than that, though, should be pretty much clearing out in terms of severe weather, at least. Back down here. Curious. Is it updated at all? Oh, there's actually a tornado possible label on this. So I was kind of mentioning it had some rotation. So there's a tornado possible label on this now. Has a little bit of rotation. We'll have to watch this still pretty closely. This is near Thames, so keep that in mind. West or south, excuse me, of Mill Creek, and far southern portions of Illinois. Southwest Ohio's main threat, again, damaging winds if you see anything. But overall, most of the storms will stay just strong or lesser than that. And some rotation right here. Again, we have a tornado possible label now on this cell. So, again, this moving down to the southeast. It's not going to show on the left side of your screen because the radar hasn't updated on the radar, but it is, again, a tornado possible label. Latest update on the storm from the National Weather Service. No problem, just west of Sugar Creek. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, it looked like the winds overall were pretty weak with that storm now. Middle City looks like a Pokemon town name. Okay, thank you, Shay. I've never played Pokemon, so I don't even know. I don't know how that makes sense, but okay. Hey, Weather, how you doing? Okay, if you're just tuning in, you didn't hear it here already. We had some damage to a Taco Bell in Texas. A Wendy's sign fell. Oh, we actually have a funnel cloud reported 8 minutes ago. A brief funnel cloud was reported by a trained weather spotter. So that's the latest report. We just got a confirmation of a funnel cloud from 8 minutes ago from this cell right here. It looked like there was pretty strong rotation at that time. So that's over in Thames and extreme southern portions of Illinois. Weather, I have not. I really hardly ever watch weather videos to begin with. But yeah, Thames, again, funnel cloud was just reported. Thank you, Skylark, for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate that, Skylark. Hope you're doing well. I appreciate that. Appreciate your compliment. I'm glad you're enjoying the streams. Thank you. Really do appreciate it. Again, if you're just tuning in, there was a funnel cloud reported over in Thames. There's a tornado possible label on this storm. So, again, just for reference, it's in southern Illinois. Actually, this is in southern Illinois. Sorry. Kind of mentioned it a few times. So, somebody's saying the storm's starting to rotate, but I don't see... not the storm. I'm talking about the Ohio storms. Somebody's saying there's rotation. I don't see anything, though. I'm not seeing any rotation on those storms. It's primarily winds right now, if anything. Wep, I actually don't. I usually remember names pretty well. I don't remember seeing you last time. It's gonna be a real bad summer. It's probably gonna improve a little bit next week. So it will probably improve a little bit next week. There's like this storm, by the way. It's pretty impressive. And we just had a funnel cloud reported near Thames. Definitely a storm to watch as it moves down to the southeast. By the way, if I missed your question, just feel free to post it again because I'm not gonna scroll up again. I'm not sure where that is, Lulu, but if that's like eastern or southern portions of Ohio, there's a possibility of some damaging winds. If it's basically northern or western portions of Ohio, the odds of severe weather are very, very low to zero for the rest of the night. That solar flare ever happened, by the way? I know there's a bunch of news about solar flare, but... apparently it's coming tomorrow, but that's just from a random news source. I've seen a lot of people talking about solar flare, but a lot of non-credible news sources have been posting about it. Why is it not tornado warned? It has a tornado possible label on the severe thunderstorm warning. Rotation is not that strong at the surface. Let me go over to the velocities. It's not strong at the surface. If you go higher up, though, there's a little bit more there, but it's not strong. If it strengthens a little bit higher up, we might get a tornado warning. But overall, the environment down this direction is much, much worse in terms of tornadic development in comparison to Ohio. So, yeah, again, there was a funnel cloud reported about 10 minutes ago on this storm. No tornado touchdown with this, as of what I know. I don't think there was a tornado. The rotation at the surface was never really strong. It was in the upper levels. It's a bit stronger, though. By the way, if you're just tuning in, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I would appreciate it. We are 52 subscribers from 11,200. And make sure to hit the like button if you're enjoying the stream so far. I would appreciate it. Hey, James, how you doing? Welcome. From North Dakota. Nice. There was a little storm actually in south. There was actually in extreme southern portions of North Dakota. There was a severe storm. There's a couple of them. There's still one ongoing in eastern South Dakota, but this is currently in southern portions of Illinois. This is actually going to potentially going towards the radar site down here near La Center, so be an area to watch. Again, Skylark, I do appreciate your super chat. Hope you're doing well. Again, Lynn or Lovely from earlier. Who was it again? I think it wasn't it Lovely? Double check. Yeah, it was Lovely. I appreciate your $5 super chat. Linda with the $50 super chat from earlier. Appreciate it. Everybody that's super chatted, Silver Fox from earlier. Appreciate you guys. Any new members and subscribers, I appreciate you guys as well. Thank you. Thank you, Sushi, for subscribing. Why is the 18Z GFS model out to lunch so many of these days? Yeah, well, I never look that far out on computer models, unless we're looking at hurricanes or anything like that. I never look that far out. It's just not accurate. Especially with the GFS model. The GFS model is always all over the place. Welcome, Dirk. Okay, sorry about that. Let me go back to some questions. Sorry, that kind of distracted me. Look at the rotation near Fredericksburg. What, over in Ohio? There's really no rotation up there. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, though, over near Danville. It's for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. This is moving off to the east toward Junction City and Danville and Houstonville. So those areas on the track of that storm. Later on, this is the storm back up here. Somebody was mentioning rotation. I didn't see anything. Let me go back over here though real quick. This is near New Philadelphia, if this is the storm that you're talking about. Overall velocities remain fairly broad with this. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning though that just got issued for damaging winds up to 60, as well as quarter-sized hail. That does include New Philadelphia, Dover, as well as Carrollton, Wintersville, Newcomerstown, Denison, Strasburg, West Lafayette, and Sugar Creek. Those areas all now included in this new severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds and maybe some quarter-sized hail. Storm over near Youngstown over here has a little bit of wind, 40-mile-per-hour gusts, a little bit of very broad rotation, but overall it's not anything too concerning at this given time. We'll watch it closely though. That is also producing some penny-sized hail. Let's go back down to this one. I'm still curious if this will ever start to rotate a bit more, because this is, again, a pretty decent inflow here. Well, again, we had a funnel cloud reported with this not too long ago. Take a look at the velocities again, see if it's weakening out at all. Looks like it's weakening at the surface. A little bit higher up, there's still some rotation, so watch this one pretty closely. Moving down to the southeast. You said Youngstown, right? That's that the place you were talking about? Yeah, Youngstown. Yeah, it looked like it was broad rotation right now. But we'll watch it closely. If anything does develop there, be updated. But the rotation overall is very broad. If you look from the radar site over in Cleveland, it's pretty broad there. Christopher, that place will probably get hit within the next 30 to 45 minutes, probably. If not sooner. Astro, where are you at? I don't know where you're at exactly. There's only one severe thunderstorm watch, I'm pretty sure. So, just this one. Yeah, watch has been condensed, by the way. So if you're west of it, you're probably not going to see anything. We're going to Starbucks on Saturday. That sounds pretty good. All right, here's the latest update, radar update, excuse me. Tornado possible labels again on this storm. So I'll have to watch the storm pretty closely. Yes, Wep, I will. I'm usually pretty good with remembering names. We're not that big. I mean, I'm not like a big channel by any means. I have like millions of viewers or anything like that. It's, I mean, 600 people is still a lot, but I'm usually able to remember names pretty well. Your radar must suck that. It's not your radar. It's just really having I mean, it's more of a knowledge thing because, and again, it's not easy to kind of learn these things. It's a little bit difficult. But when you're looking, let me just go and take this for example. Let's go to the Youngstown storm, or Youngstown. So here's a look at the velocities. They look much more, defined almost. They're definitely not tight by any means. Kind of what we're seeing here is this is where your rotation is more than anything. They're kind of in different spots overall. Again, greens here, those are going towards the radar. That is not really near the other part where we have the tighter winds, the stronger winds. The brighter colors, again, are your higher wind speeds. But if you go to the Cleveland radar, you can kind of see, apparently there's actually a little bit more rotation there. Okay, well, this might have updated from the last radar scan. I just looked at my phone. Let me double check again. Or maybe it's just not right on this radar. But if you look at radar scope, I'm not sure what app you're using, but if you look at radar scope, these ones are a lot weaker this direction. But again, there's not a whole lot of rotation here. And if, again, the greens are very weak here, the reds are very weak here. And yeah, it's not really rotating. It's kind of hard to explain because it looks different on this radar. It's not the same on radar scope, but radar scope's usually more accurate. But there is definitely a little bit of broad rotation. It's not strong. It looks stronger right now, but it's definitely not that strong. It might be strengthening though. It's actually starting to get a little bit more of an inflow, but at this given time, the rotation is still fairly broad. Watch it though closely. Definitely a little bit of hail though. I wouldn't be surprised if this does get upgraded to a severe thunderstorm warning. If not, maybe a tornado warning if it starts to strengthen a bit more. Again, rotation, pretty broad. It's kind of a hard, again, radar scope is showing completely different things. Radar scope is more accurate. This thing is sometimes not there in terms of velocities, but Richard, you can use either radar. Both radars work. And in this instance, you can use any radar like this one, for example. It's basically almost the same distance. You have to usually look at two radar sites with situations like this. It's not just the Pittsburgh one that you have to look at. You have to confirm it from different angles if you can, in terms of rotation. When you're in between two radar sites and you barely can even see the storm from either one, that's when it gets a lot more uncertainty, and that's when we can sometimes see tornado warnings if we don't have much certainty on them. Which that's actually an issue right now over in far southeastern portions of Oklahoma. So that's just kind of for reference. There is actually, places like that do have those issues, but just kind of a little bit of an explanation there. Here's a look at the storm, by the way. I'm going to go back to the velocities one last time on the storm. If there's not much here, we'll probably kind of disregard the storm in terms of that tornado threat. There was a funnel cloud. It looks like the rotation, though, is definitely weakening on this cell, which is good news, but it is moving down to the southeast. No problem, Richard. Sorry, it is hard to explain, though. I'm trying to explain it the best I can, but it's a kind of a weird thing. I had to kind of do some verification with different radar sites as well, unless there's something really, really defined, which in that case, it just wasn't that defined at this given time. Again, it could develop, though, so we'll have to watch it closely. June 23rd, when the tornado was producing storm. Mary, which storm was that? Or which, what state was that? Let me back up here to the north. Again, that was a funnel cloud report from earlier. We also have a severe storm up here. I'm going to go to this real quick. I haven't really touched on this in a while. And this cell is actually weakening, so not much of a concern. This is over in extreme eastern South Dakota. It was producing golf ball sized hail. It is now down to nickel sized and 60-mile-per-hour wind. So not much of a concern. Actually, got another cell up here, though, that looks pretty decent. That's probably trying to develop near Lake City. That's also an area that we just saw a storm in, but not going to take too much time on that one. Let me go back over to the storms over this direction. Watch the Youngstown storm pretty closely. This is pretty discreet, by the way, so if it can develop, we definitely could see maybe a tornado threat out of this. Started in Kansas. Let me take a look. I can look at my channel. June 23rd, it sounds familiar. I was on a trip, though, so I might have not. Yes, I was live on June 23rd. I'm not entirely sure what I was live streaming then. That was on my trip. I can't remember, but I was live on June 23rd. It must have been for that. Thank you, Philip, and as well, or Philip, excuse me, as well as Divine for subscribing. I appreciate it, guys. Welcome. Any news on Shreve tornado? As of what I know, it's at least some sort of weak tornado. Let me look at Twitter. Not sure if we have any extra confirmation on that or not. A pretty intense storm. From what we know, there was at least some sort of brief tornado with this. But so as of right now, there was no knowledge of damage so far from what we know. but there was trees down at least. And obviously on radar, it looked like there was something there. I never, again, from Brandon, the storm chaser, he did say that there was, he obviously called somebody, local official, I think it was. I can't find his thing anymore. Obviously, it looked like there was a little debris ball over the town of Shreve. No requests of mutual aid or assistance were needed, and there was no knowledge of damage at that current time, which, again, Shreve, I think, is a bit more of a rural area, so I'm not entirely sure, again, the whole logistics of it, if it's a more populated town. I'm assuming it's a bit more of a little lesser populated area, but at this given time, we have no confirmation, but I would assume there was something. At least some sort of brief tornado. It looked very clear on radar that there was. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued. I was waiting for this. So this is for those in Youngstown, Boardman, Niles, Campbell, as well as Hubbard, as well as Canfield, Lordstown, Hilltop, Maplewood Park, Austintown, McDonald, Poland, Ellsworth, Lowellville, North Jackson, Churchill, and Merrill Ridge, all included in this severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail. And also, there was a little bit of rotation. We'll still have to watch that closely, but I think that threat should stay pretty low with that cell. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning as well down in Kentucky for 60-mile-per-hour winds and as well as quarter-sized hail. That is ongoing for those near Perryville and west of Junction City. Danville will be in the track of that pretty soon, so that'll be a storm to watch. I know Danville's a bit more populated there, so we'll have to watch that closely. And a 46-mile-per-hour report, by the way, of wind over in just near Columbus, by the way, not too long ago. So there are some strong storms down there near Columbus. I'll have to watch pretty closely. Akron is pretty much done for tonight. You're not going to see much. What's the most powerful tornado I've ever seen? I mean, on TV and whatnot, I've seen, you know, EF5s, obviously, but the one, I mean, in terms of streaming one, the Morton, Texas tornado was probably the worst one by far. That was probably easily the worst one I've at least seen. Obviously, I was streaming at the time, but that was probably the worst one. All right, let me go zoom back in on the storm. Let me look at the velocities. There's still a little bit of rotation here. It's not strong. It's still pretty broad right now. It's near Austintown. Look at the slightly higher up levels. Nothing that tight. It seems to be more of a wind threat at this point more than anything. I'll have to still watch it closely, though. This is, again, a pretty discreet cell, but I think the main threat will be probably damaging winds with that cell. I think it was an EF3. Or it was an EF2 or EF3. It was a pretty large tornado. It was probably the largest tornado I've done. But Jacksboro tornado was an EF3. Bowie tornado was an EF3. I was live for those only on Facebook, though, I think. Yeah. Pretty sure what I was doing then. I'm pretty sure those are the two bigger tornadoes. Also, the Vernon tornado I was live for. I think that was only on Facebook, but it may have also been on YouTube at the time. If that was early May, then I think it may have been on both YouTube and Facebook. And that was the first time I did a YouTube stream, so. I was always, again, I've been doing Facebook streams since like 2019, so I've been doing live streams forever, but I haven't done any until recently on YouTube, so. I would explain why I'm a bit, you know, smaller right now in terms of being on YouTube, because I wasn't really doing a whole lot of live streams here on our YouTube page. Here's a look at the latest radar scan. This is a pretty impressive storm here near Austintown. I'll have to watch it closely. Still some broad rotation here, nothing strong, but definitely still something to watch. It has a bit of an inflow now. It's solid to watch. Let me go back over to the Cleveland radar site. Look at it from this angle. Velocities are extremely tight from the other angle here. But I do think overall there is definitely a little bit of rotation here. We have a little bit of inflow here, a little bit of a hook. And rotation is right here. I don't think it's tight, but it's definitely, it's moderate at this point. There's definitely some rotation. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if this gets tornado warned. I saw the Mayfield, Kentucky tornado, but I did not stream it. I think that was I didn't do any streams outside of North Texas until recently. So overall, I did not live stream anything outside of North Texas until literally recently. Yeah, NASCAR, that was 2 weeks ago. Or Steve. I don't know if you're here, but it was definitely 2 weeks ago. Maybe back onto this radar site. Definitely have some rotation here, though. A little bit of rotation. Definitely more damaging wind threat, though, more than anything, I think. Go over to the base velocity. Yeah, a lot more downburst winds, I think. You can kind of see much more defined greens. That's obviously representing very strong downburst winds. That's probably at least 60 to 65 miles per hour there near Austintown and Canfield. So we definitely have some high winds. A little bit of a shape that looks like it has a little bit of rotation, though. We'll have to watch it closely. Katie, I don't have a clue. I don't really do Canada weather, so I'll only ever do it if I get radar scope on this computer. But as of right now, I don't have plans to do a whole lot up in Canada, at least in the short term. Costs like $30 to get radar scope on the computer. I'll go back up here. Okay, we got warnings ongoing. Yeah, we're primarily going to focus on Ohio for right now. And if you have any questions on the other cells, feel free to let me know. Niagara Falls is in New York. Okay, that would explain a lot. Let me go up here real quick. Geography, there we go. I'm acing geography. Was that up this direction? Isn't it over here? Okay, that's right here. Just some, yeah, it looks like some strong storms. Might get some severe thunderstorms up here in far western portions of New York, but should stay fairly minimal. That'll also be going on the members only blooper reel, by the way. Didn't know where Niagara Falls was. Yeah, those storms may be, I mean, they might be severe once they enter the United States, but overall, I think the damaging wind probably the main thing. These winds are definitely high, though, near Youngstown. We're talking possibly 60 to 65 miles per hour with this cell. It's not, again, the rotation looks tight. It's not. Winds probably are at least 60, though. 60 to 65 with the cell. Very decent looking storm, though. Here's like the hail radar, by the way, for reference. I don't think the storm's producing much in terms of hail. It might have been quarter size previously. Those reds representing quarter sized hail. Essentially as high as ping pong ball. I don't think it was that high. It was probably around quarter, if anything. It's probably right around penny size, though, as of right now, near Austintown. Just for reference in the latest radar scans. Look again at the live radar feed. Back down to this radar site. I'm on the, not the right radar site here. Look at the cell again. Decent little bit of hail, by the way, up near Garrard as well as Austintown. A couple little areas of hail. You're good, kid. Yeah, I honestly, I don't know. I just failed geography, apparently. Hey, Paul, how you doing? How you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Hey, Jody, how you doing? Western North Carolina. I will take a look for you. I'm not entirely sure. I don't usually do a whole lot of temperature forecasts these days, but I'll take a look. Say these days, but take a look at Carolinas. Take a look at the temperature anomalies. Take a look. It'll probably remain, it looks like, right around average for the next few days. I'm assuming. Kind of what shows at least on here. That's for at least the temperature anomalies. Temperatures will probably remain right on the low to mid 90s, so it looks like. So mid 90s possibly. It's where it'll peak. Thanks, so yeah, I appreciate it. Youngstown is primarily just damaging winds right now up to 60. There's also a little bit, maybe some quarter-sized hail as well. So I have a couple of little concerns here, but just make sure you stay away from windows. Treat it as if it's a tornado warning. Obviously, it's not, but just treat it as if it is one because, again, 60-mile-per-hour winds can definitely be pretty strong. Definitely looking at, this is where we have the very strong winds here, is this green area. They're much brighter here, but that's where we have the ongoing damaging winds, maybe around 60 to 65. So just make sure you're staying away from windows. Definitely a dangerous storm, though, here. Like it's some rain in Iowa on Friday. Nice. Yeah, there's a low-end chance for severe weather on Friday. I'll have a better forecast for you here pretty soon. How are you handling this heat wave? Just kind of staying indoors at this point. No problem, Jody. Appreciate you tuning in. Hey, Goat, how you doing? Welcome. Whoa. It's got really large. Thank you, Laura, for subscribing, by the way. I appreciate it. Welcome. Finally removed the severe weather potential in Louisville, Kentucky. They did? Down that direction. I didn't even look at the new severe weather outlook. I literally came in like an hour ago. Let me take a look real quick. This is the severe weather outlook for the rest of the night. Louisville's actually still included, but I think the severe weather will probably stay down to your southeast. Yeah, this slight risk still goes through Kentucky. Marginal risk goes as far southeast as still Georgia. So that's still our latest update. No longer includes Michigan, as pretty much obvious. Cleveland's probably done for tonight as well. I think there's a little shower that developed there. It's pretty much weakening out, but that's what we're looking at in terms of tonight. Again, I might be live tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure, but I might be live for tomorrow's severe weather event that does include New England. Damaging winds, large hail, isolated tornadoes possible. Another slight risk across the southeast. Again, make sure to turn on post notifications down below. Click the bell icon down below. Make sure to subscribe as well. If you want some more information on that, again, we'll be going live tomorrow. So make sure to do those two things. And even if you don't want to know about it, I would appreciate if you hit the subscribe button. Would appreciate it. Cincinnati, yeah, I can go down that direction. I think the storms overall down here are going to be pretty minimal, but here's a look at it as of right now. Got a couple little storms, pretty much ordinary at this point, moving down to the southeast. Nothing too crazy, though. Thank you, Patty, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Southwest Indiana was missed. Just had a few storms. Yeah, overall, the storm activities remain pretty minimal over there. Only storm activities kind of off to your southwest or even southeast. Somebody was asking about the storms in Kentucky. Here's a look at them as of right now. This is the main storm activity. Just quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's going toward, again, Junction City and Danville. So those areas a bit more populated, have a little bit of a better chance, maybe a little bit of some storms over that direction. Like something to keep in mind as those move off to the east. So again, moving through Youngstown. I know Youngstown, a few of you guys are watching from there. Looks like damaging winds moving through that area right now. Some strong downburst winds. Yeah, if you're from that area, have any reports, just make sure to feel free to let me know in the chat. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see weather. Sorry, I missed the message, but yeah, it'll be interesting. Hey, Robbie, how you doing? I'm having, yeah, it's been warm. It's been hot. No doubt about it. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're doing well. MCS is probably going to happen, though, Saturday over in the Midwest. All right. Again, the storms that we got going as of right now, we still got to watch on going until 11 o'clock Eastern. That's another 45 minutes. I would expect that gets possibly canceled or something along those lines pretty soon. Most of the storms are moving out of that area. But overall, main warnings currently over in Ohio. 60-mile-per-hour winds, some $quarter to $half size hail somewhere in that direction. That's going to be our maximum hailstone size. Winds picked up considerably. Okay, thank you for the report. Appreciate that. White Town, appreciate it. Torrential rain in Youngstown. You guys call it White Town over in that area? How big is the hail? It's currently penny sized, but it might be up to quarter sized. Severe weather setups always miss northern Illinois. There was some severe weather a couple weeks ago over there. 2 or 3 weeks ago. I can't remember when it was. It was actually whenever that tornado warning in Chicago happened. I think it was a while ago, but did have that. There's actually a marginal threat for severe weather. I don't know if this got added. I didn't see it before. There's a marginal threat for severe weather now in New York, northeastern Pennsylvania, and western Massachusetts on Friday. Just got added. I don't know if it got added or if it was already on there this morning. I didn't see it, but there's still a marginal threat across the Midwest into the Central Plains and Nebraska. Again, an MCS may unfold on Saturday in the Midwest. So again, we'll keep you updated with the latest on those. Again, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Keep you updated with all that. Make sure to like the live stream, by the way. If you haven't hit the like button, I would appreciate it. We are 30 likes from 700. If you have any questions, feel free to post those in the chat. Going over some of those as well. We are 15 subscribers from 11,200. Again, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, we're pretty close to another milestone. No hail where I'm at. Thank you for the report. Yeah, it looks like there's probably maybe a little bit of pea-sized hail. It looks like the hail core shrinked a little bit in the latest 2 scans, but I think the main threat right now is downburst winds with this cell. Oops, it's not a tornado warning. But let's look at the velocities. Again, downburst winds seem to be over here now from Struthers up toward Youngstown, excuse me. Cell to the south kind of destroyed the rotation. It wasn't really rotating a whole lot to begin with, but it did definitely hinder that overall development of the rotation. How's the rotation looking in Illinois? It is pretty much gone now. There's not much rotation anymore. But there was a funnel cloud, but that was from earlier. By the way, just for those that are wondering, obviously there was some, people saying that there'd be a potential for strong tornadoes today in Canada, which there might have been a tornado or two, but I'm not sure how Canada classifies. I'm not sure if anybody knows if the strong tornadoes are classified as EF2+, because I know that's how they do it in the United States. Does anybody know? But overall, the setup wasn't really there today for that tornado threat. It wasn't a negatively tilted trough. It was still, pretty neutral. And obviously, it said there was a high risk of severe weather today, but I don't know really how they classified that in Canada. Canada's severe weather is kind of interesting, though. It's really classified different. Again, the Storm Prediction Center is the United States system. The Canada system is completely different, though. So, not sure if anybody knows in chat, but just kind of something to think about. I know a lot of people are saying, like, strong tornadoes might happen today. But I didn't see that happening by any means. I even posted on Twitter this morning. I kind of, just said, don't expect much. Maybe an isolated tornado or two, but definitely not strong tornadoes. It really wasn't the setup for that today. We just had such a high K index. We had a pretty decent low-level jet and a decent, a good amount of low-level shear as well. But the overall K index is just so high. So many storms are just developing and kind of cutting off any rotation that does develop. Anything that were to occur today was going to be brief and weak. And I was pretty much correct on that. I was very correct on that overall. So at least from what I know, I don't think there's been any strong tornadoes today. I don't know about Canada, but I don't think there was. Same scaling. Okay, thank you. I gotcha. Classified as EF and category. Okay, thank you, Cameron. Okay, so I got you. So it's pretty much the same system. So I'm guessing a strong tornado means EF2+. Where was the rotation? In Illinois. It was down here. I'll go ahead and show you. I don't think the storm's warned anymore. This is where a funnel cloud was reported. I think the cell's weakening now. The funnel cloud was reported in Thames, but the storm overall is, for the most part, just rain now. Looks like it's been weakening. Might be a little bit of lightning as well. That cell is definitely weakened. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued for Columbus for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and as well as maybe a little bit of penny-sized hail. This is not the radar side I want to be using. Let me go back down to this one. So, new warning just got issued for those over in Columbus, Ohio. So, latest warning, 60-mile-per-hour winds for Columbus, Newark, as well as Dublin, Westerville, Reynoldsburg, Upper Arlington, Hilliard, Bexley, Heath, Granville, I can't even say that. I mean, that's like the easiest thing to pronounce, and I'm butchering it. Johnstown. He brought as well as Hanover, and Granville South, and Marne. Yeah, we're just not pronouncing names tonight, but that's what we got included currently in the severe thunderstorm warning. And that's near Columbus. I could probably make a whole compilation of bloopers just from mispronouncing names. Like, it's like the most common thing I do here. Hey, Gene, how you doing? Welcome back. And we also have a special weather statement that just got issued down here for Grove City and Valley View. So that's for 40-mile-per-hour gusts. New little warning there that just got issued. So again, those in Columbus, 60-mile-per-hour winds possibly rolling through your town. Thank you, Robbie. Appreciate it. Line storms might be coming outflow dominant. They might be now. I think this line is probably outflow dominant now. Any cells back up to the north might be a bit more discreet, but I think for the most part, again, damaging winds is the main threat from here on out. There might still be an isolated brief tornado, but I think for the most part, it's just going to be some damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. That's my main concern at this point. Hey, no problem, Albash. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate it. We're only 7 subscribers, by the way, away from 11,200. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, again, I would really appreciate it. Try to hit that milestone tonight. We only need 7 more subscribers for 11,200. Thank you, lovely Stefan, Danny, and Andrew. Justin for all subscribing. Paula. Celeste and Nancy for all subscribing. Appreciate it, guys. Welcome. I think that might have been old. Yeah, it's still old. So we need 3 more subscribers. 3 more for our goal for tonight. Eastern suburb of Columbus. Lightning just starting. Thank you for the report. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's definitely some lightning with these storms. Definitely a lot of lightning. Without a doubt. Let's take a look at the United States real quick. We actually had some wind reports over here of 60. But overall, the only warnings that we have left are right now in the Ohio Valley. So primarily storms in Ohio. We have a couple over in Kentucky, but lovely. There will be a potential for storms tomorrow in Maine. Make sure to check out my latest forecast. Again, you can click my channel name and make sure to go check out my latest forecast. There's all the timing details as well for Maine. Anyway, check out our Discord server if you have not already. Discord link's gonna be in the chat from Nightbot. Join our Discord server. Again, we do a lot of stuff over on our Discord server. Join our community of like 200 people on Discord now. You think they'll extend the watch into Pennsylvania? Probably not. I do think the severe weather, they might still occur, but it should be pretty minimal as it enters into Pennsylvania. Warnings may occur, though. I can't rule out a couple of storms that do obviously become severe, but overall, I think it's going to be pretty minimal. And we have a special weather statement that just got issued for New Wilmington and Newcastle for 40-mile-per-hour gusts. So, latest update there. So, new update on this warning. It looks like the severe thunderstorm warning will not be continued with the storm as of now. What time will this, again, lovely, check out our latest forecast. I'll go ahead and link it in the chat. I keep shaking my webcam. I'll go ahead and link the live stream. Again, it has a whole timing details. All right, I linked it in chat. You get a chance, can you go back up the high plains in Dakota? Yeah, I can do that real quick. Just gonna take a look. I think most of these storms, I think there's only a strong storm now, if anything. And yeah, we got a few strong storms, nothing severe anymore. Maybe some gusty winds or maybe a little bit of small hail, but overall, I think it's pretty minimal at this point. Yeah, we had quarter-sized hail reported earlier. We had a 66-mile-per-hour wind report as well as the airport, so Roberts County. That's about it. We didn't really have a whole lot of severe weather up there. We had a couple of warnings, but nothing too crazy. That's what we have over that direction. No problem, lovely. All right. All right, I'm going to post our socials link in the chat. By the way, make sure to follow us on all their social medias. We're on Twitter and all that sort of stuff. But that's going to be it for this live stream. I do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Again, if there's any other tornado warnings, just make sure you take the proper precautions. I don't think we'll have many more tornado warnings at this point, but I do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. It's been a great live stream. Again, I appreciate all the super chats tonight. You guys went crazy with those tonight. I really do appreciate it. If you're new here, again, hit the subscribe button down below. I would really appreciate it. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this live stream. And again, consider joining our Discord server or anything like that. And if you want to support our page above and beyond, by the way, you can become a member or donate one time down below. There's 2 links down there. The top links to that member link. You can become a member for as little as $2.99 per month. You get a lot of benefits and help support our page tremendously. I cannot talk tonight. As well as the donation link. That's the second link, I think. Again, if you want to make a one-time donation, it would help our page out a lot. But again, appreciate everybody tonight. Really do appreciate your support. All the new subscribers, all of you guys just watching, it really means the world to me. I really do appreciate it. But that is going to do it for this live stream. Again, I might go live tomorrow. If not, I will most likely go live on Saturday. So stay tuned for that. Again, schedules on our Discord server as well. Again, all those links in the description below as well. All right, have a safe night, everybody. Appreciate you guys all tuning in, and we will see you again in the next one. Have a great rest of your night, and stay safe.